30, but I'm not even worried about it. I started the stream just now, by the way. So the mic is hot. The mic is hot, by the way, right now. So hello, welcome everybody. Pans, you can say hi.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
I don't know if everyone can hear you very well, but they'll have to let me know about that. So I have Pans in here. I got Stagathy in here with technical issues. We might have Administration 1 in here, and we might get King Ghidorah in here. I don't know who else is coming, but I gave the invitation to a lot of players, so they'll come in. My plan is for the stream today. Okay, they can hear you good. So my plan for the stream today is to... There's no music, so I'm trying to focus up. My plan is to ask some questions, to chat can answer them as well, and obviously the panel of players that I have can answer them. And then I want to go over the Melee 2020 review of the, what was it fucking called? We had our awards, the Melee 2020 awards. I wanted to go over that too. So actually we can do that first. So I'll hide the Discord chat real quick so I can go look at the awards first. And then we'll do that. So I asked on my server, the Melee's Discord server, I asked I asked a few questions like a 2020 like award show, right? Oh, hold on, I got a response. King Ghidorah will be on in a bit. So, cool. Let's go back to the awards. Where did I put them? Oh, Mike Pine is in the chat. Shout out Mike Pine. Mike Pine, listen, you are in the Discord, so if you want to hop in here, you're more than welcome to also hop in if you want, if you're available. So we got the categories for this year for the Melee 2020 awards was Best Toho Unit, Best Collaboration Unit, Best Buff of the Year, Best Nerf of the Year, Worst and Best Nerf/Buff of the Year, and then Best New Addition, Worst Unit of the Year, Best Unit of the Year, and Most Mid Unit of the Year, and Best Leader of the Year. Dyson Deadlifts, shout out in the 777 as always, given the 777. Mike Pine, you're not home right now, so you don't have your settings, but best of luck. Oh, no worries, Mike. No worries. Glad that you're here catching it live. So we'll go through the categories for the Best Toho Unit of the Year. The choices in the Discord were Godzilla Earth, Kiryu Kai, Mecha King Ghidorah, Gigan 2004, and Godzilla 2004. And with an overwhelming majority of the votes on Discord, Godzilla 2004 took the W in that category with 101 votes. Second place was Godzilla Earth with 35.
Godzilla Earth obviously is the best unit in the game, so you know.
Yeah, I will. You're of course you would have that to say.
But no, Godzilla 04 is actually just really, really good. Even when he was rated at 10, right? That was before they did 12.
Wait, what'd you say?
When we rented him out, he was at level 10.
He was at level 10 because there was no rank 66, or there couldn't have been a level 12.
Yeah, so even at 10, he was just doing so well, and his attack, it's just surprising what he does. It pushes things away. They come up, it hits. It's just, yeah, he's really good. Once people get him leveled, we're going to see a lot of him.
What level is yours? Like 30?
My Godzilla Earth?
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about 04, but my Godzilla Earth's 26.
What's your 04? I haven't pulled a single piece for Godzilla 04 since his season. I have not seen a single piece.
Dude, my 04 is like 5. It's so sad.
Yeah, mine is 3. So the Discord voted for Godzilla 2004 to be the best unit, the best Toho unit of the year. I personally, I didn't vote on any of these. I would have voted for Earth myself. I would have put in one for Earth, so it would have been 36 for Godzilla Earth.
I think Kiryu is having bigger impact than any of them.
Yeah, I agree. Kiryu Kai has a crazy impact right now. Also, that's Stagathy for those who are wondering. I don't have the chat box up at the moment, so they can't see, but Earth is the best Toho unit this year, says the chat also agrees that Godzilla Earth is probably the best unit of the year for Toho. Mike Pine says 04 is super rare. His is only 10 because he spent GMATs. Jaden says Kiryu is S tier this season. I agree. I think Kiryu is also pretty good this go around. I probably would have voted Kiryu Kai if Earth wasn't an option on my own fucking thing. But we'll go to the best collaboration units. Actually, can I just share this screen right here? Yeah, I'll just share it like this so you guys can see it. Okay, cool. So, best collaboration unit of the year. We had EVO 1, Ultraman, the Fourth Angel, Mechagodzilla, and Naranga, and Ultraman won Best Unit of the Year, and second place was Mechagodzilla 2021, beating out the Fourth Angel by a large margin, but only slightly beating Unit 1. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Because I think that Ultraman for sure is the best, but I definitely don't think Mechagodzilla was the second best.
Ultraman is really, really good, but Fourth Angel is surprisingly good. I don't know, man. Fourth Angel might be it.
Fourth Angel totally caught me off guard. I did not expect it to be as good as it was, or as it is, but it is, like, surprisingly just, like, insane, especially in fixed. Fourth Angel is crazy.
What are you doing? I can't even tell how big the radius is. The radius is so huge. It's like, it deals so much damage.
And it's, like, my favorite thing about the Fourth Angel is that it is, like, guaranteed. I just opened up Spotify on the fucking screen like a moron.
That's the way
copyrighted music.
That's the way burning should be like. It's so many times the things hit so far away from burning, they don't even get hit by the explosion. Fourth Angel hits everything. It just hits it. It just deals so much
Fourth
damage.
Angel, burning, you have to like charge it up. So where's the sign up sheet to become a top player? Listen, this is the Discord with the invite only for players who are in the top or spending a lot and are a high value play. I didn't make the Discord, but that's the people I'm polling for the video. Watch out for that self-dox. Yeah, I know. We skipped it, though.
Oh, admin one? I got the crown.
Oh, yeah, admin, I think, is pulling up, too. Oh,
He's
everyone
out
is
here.
pulling up here. Everyone is pulling up.
I'm in. What's up, guys?
Welcome, welcome. I would scroll through, but I don't want to end up doxing myself more than I probably have already done on the stream. So,
There you go.
at least a first name dox, probably. I've done that. I've done it so many times on the stream, and no one has ever seen it, but I've deleted it all, so. We're going over my list of for those of you who are just joined, can someone read me the names everyone who just joined the chat? Because I can't see, because I'm on another Discord. Actually, I can go to my phone and say. So, it's
Admin
me
one.
in here, Admin 1, Pans. Who else is in here? I got a Crayon and Stagathy are in here. And I got a Crayon and Stagathy have the mute on right now, but Pans is here, Admin 1 is here, shout out Admin 1.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome. So we just went over the best Toho unit of the year and the best collaboration unit of the year. Now, I put up in the Discord the best buff of the year. And my options were for the players to vote on Fyrodan's Death Evolution, or Fyrodan getting the on evolution, or the Death on evolution, oh my god. Burning Godzilla getting the attack and explosion damage increase, Unmanned Train Bomb getting its energy cost reduced from 4 to 3, and Ghira's cost reduced from 5 to 4, and Mothra Leo getting the attack increase. And the players in the Discord voted overwhelmingly for Fyrodan on Death Evolution at 125 votes.
Agreed.
I agree with that.
I don't think that was contested at all. Also, chat wants to know, Admin 1, if you are the top spender in the game. The Kraken of all Krakens.
I probably think that between me and a couple of the Japanese guys, because there's some of the Japanese guys that their levels are just as high as mine. So,
I was looking through some of the Japanese players on YouTube, and some of their levels will give you a run for your money.
exactly. So I'm not going to say yes or no, but I will say that I feel that there's a few of the Japanese players that are definitely either figuring out a way or they're doing something. But yeah, I mean,
I agree.
I think
110%.
that I'm probably the top spender in the U.S. market. I would say that.
Probably. Which is also kind of insane, so shout out to you being here. Oh, Goji Fen in the chat says, Burning Godzilla got multiple upgrades. Yes, Burning Godzilla did get multiple upgrades, but instead of me listing them all out for the vote poll, I took the one that I felt was the most impactful, and there was a time where he got an attack increase and damage to the explosion increase, so I put that on there. But I think overall, Burning has had the most changes this year out of any particular unit. Maybe also King Ghidorah is close, because Toho likes to, I don't know, they have the, I guess it's an inside joke there. Every update, let's just fuck with King Ghidorah. So we had Best Nerf of the Year category as well. Psychic Chorus, decrease HP gain. Manila health decrease. Super X attack speed going increased to 2.9 seconds. Batra boost lowered from 50% to 30%, and Biolante damage decrease. Which one do you think was the most impactful on the meta? Because overwhelmingly, with 100, no vote made it over 20 votes, except for the Batra boost lowered from 50 to 30%, which got 130 votes, or 129, but I'll give it 130.
And we see just as much Batra as we did before, so I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
I think
yeah.
it just depends on what everybody is playing. I mean, Batra, yeah, but you could say that with almost every unit that either gets a decrease or a buff. I think it just depends on how your brain and how you pick your teams work together. Because, I mean, you look at Comic. Comic puts some insane shit together that you would not even think of.
Comic has really great teams. Go look them up on YouTube.
So, I mean, it just depends on how you play and what you think is a meta deck. I mean, look at Bowers. He's been trying to crush the meta deck now for 6 months. And, you know, it just depends. But I think the Batra is probably, you could just slide that off to the side. Everybody still uses him.
But, you know, after the Manila nerf, I haven't seen Manila in forever ever since he got nerfed, which is...
I was going to say...
Maybe that was the biggest impactful one.
I would say, personally, I voted for the Batra one on here just to even out the number on the stream. But I would say the most impactful of these two is definitely not Batra. I think Batra's was the least impactful because he's still constantly in play. I think the Biolante damage decrease was maybe the biggest one. Because she's still really good, but you do not see her nearly as much as you used to. And Manila was everywhere. And then that health nerf to Manila, plus Ultraman being immune to stun, totally took him out of play. Yeah. In my opinion, I think those might have been the two most impactful. Because my deck before the Manila nerf and before Ultraman was Super X with Ultima and Manila. And I would just stun you from a mile away and just rinse your guys before you could even get close to me. They nerfed Manila, they added Ultraman. That deck is like unusable, and that how I used to use it. I would have to totally adapt my strategy to something else.
Yeah, I remember he used to use Manila all the time.
He was my first. No, he wasn't my first skin in the game. The poop skin, that was my second one. He was my first 30, I think. For sure, him or Super X. And so then we had, that was best nerf of the year, right? So then I have the worst buff / nerf of the year, which is, the way I worded it is kind of weird, but I kind of meant to be like the most unnecessary buff or nerf, like something that they added that just didn't really matter. It's like a waste. They could have done something else. Mike Pine says, even without the nerf, Ultraman's edition would have left Manila in the dust anyway. Exactly. Ultraman would have left Manila in the dust, but the fact that Manila got shot in the knee and then also hit in the head with a hammer was not very great for him. So for worst buff and nerf of the year, I gave the options of Mecha King Ghidorah, attack speed decreased from 2.1 seconds to 2.8 seconds. Batra's HP buff that he just recently got. Ultraman damage decreased, which was a few seasons ago, I think. And then Jet Jaguar 1973 attack speed increased from 2.5 to 2.3. And then the Stealth Bomber movement speed increased. The most overwhelming vote on this for the worst of these changes was the Batra health increase with 118 votes. And second place was Mecha King Ghidorah, having the speed decrease to 2.1, or going from 2.1 to 2.8. I understand that people don't like the Batra HP buff, but I really don't think it's made a significant difference. I think Mecha King Ghidorah having its attack speed start at 2.1 and then get put to 2.8 was maybe the worst decision they ever made, and it totally ruined King Ghidorah.
Oh, I agree with that one. I think that everybody was using him. Everybody was going up to one side or the other side, trying to do the evolve when he was doing the evolve. And then now you look at him, and a few people still play him, but for 7 and then 7 again for 14, you can run, 3 Batras and a bio.
That's a girth and a half.
Yeah. Plus, it's the same attack speed with very little change. Literally 69 Nice. Difference in damage between the two of them. So for that little bit of damage for the same attack speed was not worth it. I think once we had what we had and it was golden, and then they gave us what it was supposed to be, just wasn't hitting. Which I think is sad to say.
Yeah, it is, because King Ghidorah is so fun to use.
I know, and it's a super iconic unit as well,
Yeah.
and it's just like, oh, okay. You know, it's a big L at the end of the day, but it is what it is. So the next category I had was the best new addition to the game, and I feel like everyone is going to have the same answer here. I gave the options of G Material, Studio Mode, the upgraded G Pass, because remember, it was pretty terrible. Or it was pretty good, but it was worse compared to what we have now. Training Mode, and Free Battle Mode. Who voted for Free Battle Mode or upgraded G Pass? I don't know. Administration 2 and Drac, shout out. But overwhelmingly, with 139 votes, everyone said the G Material was probably the best new addition of the year.
I think I agree with that.
I mean, yeah, but Studio Mode's awesome. Studio Mode's really fun to play with. There's some people that are gonna like that. I mean, I get that, and I mean, the free battle modes. I mean, you know, it's something that some people were probably looking forward to. I mean, I can get that too. But yeah, G Material definitely.
I think the G
And
Material
that's
is
the
probably
thing, the
the best.
GMMATs. I mean, especially when you have some of the collaboration units that are going to go bye-bye, just like with Kong and with G21. Look at Ruin. That's all he dumped into, and now he has his, G20 up to 32, and that really didn't do anything now because now everybody's getting their G20 up to 20, 25, and he's like, gosh, shit. What's the point anymore? So he's all bummed out. But yeah, I think GMATs would probably be the best because that at least gets you, if you're just that close to that next level. I mean, but since Toho did their shit, I mean, what's the point? I mean, you put another level and you get 4 life and 7 damage. Who cares?
Yeah, it's at this point, I feel like the G Materials are great for getting your units to especially the G Materials with the level and I didn't put the level changes on here and I should have. The G Materials with the level changes I think is really good because it's going to get a lot of people's characters usable faster, because before, remember, it was 1 G Material to go from levels 1 to 5 and then 2 from 6 to 10, but now it's 1 until level 15. So it's way easier to get your characters up to where they need to be now, like around level 10 and 15 for most 4 stars. So I think the G Materials in the long run have been a really good addition. And even for Ruin, who has that Godzilla, I don't care who's playing this game in the 6 months that G21 is back, no one's just getting close to Ruins without significant spending or G Material usage. Not happening.
I'm here now, by the way. Hi.
Oh, which one was that? King Ghidorah join?
King Ghidorah has arrived.
King Ghidorah has arrived. You're very excited for these opinions.
I did you a favor, and I just stayed out of the whole King Ghidorah's Nerf being the worst thing ever to happen to him thing, just because...
Do you think he would have been better at not being at 2.1 seconds?
Are you asking if his original, bugged...
I said that for worst buffer Nerf of the year, I said the worst Nerf of the year was, in my opinion, Mecha King Ghidorah going from a 2.1 attack to a 2.8.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, but I'm not sure that was an intentional Nerf. I think he was released bugged.
Oh, no, I agree. I think he was released bugged too, but I put it in this section because they gave it to us like that for like a week and a half, and then they reverted it, which is super tragic. So now we're on the worst unit of the year, and I gave the options of Kids, Jet Jaguar 1973, Destroyer, Shin Godzilla, and Giant Octopus. And with 103 votes, Jet Jaguar 1973 won.
Oh, come on. It's Giant Octopus. These people are coping.
Actually, Giant Octopus is in third. 43 votes had... Kids had 43 votes, and Giant Octopus has 25. I will not publicly come out and say Giant Octopus is the worst unit, but I definitely think he's a contender for that title for sure, and that's on purpose.
Here's I think a healthy way of looking at it is Giant Octopus is undoubtedly the weakest unit of all of these.
I agree.
But he's hilarious, and we stuck it to Toho, so I don't think he's the worst. I think Kids is the worst. I'm glad Despite him not really being useful, I'm so glad Giant Octopus is there, just as a monumental middle finger to Toho.
I think God, Giant Octopus is so funny, and like I have in the background now of my stream and all my videos, but you can't see behind me the poster, the like canvas print with the Giant Octopus on it, and I think it's probably the top moment of my year, not including obviously my engagement, so not personal stuff, but like in terms of like the Godzilla battle line stuff. Getting Giant Octopus in the game, I think, is hilarious. I got a ton of flack for it online, but I think the community overall coming together to get him in the game is insane, and Toho reacting the way that they have shows like how salty they are. Like on every opportunity they have, they just shit on Giant Octopus. Even all the titles are like about eating him.
Be nerfed even more. I think that pretty soon he'll just be not even a giant octopus, just a baby squid.
He needs a buff. He just needs the same health as Anguirus and the speed of Jet Jaguar.
No,
Or I'm sorry, Gigan. The speed of Gigan.
Yeah, that would be funny. Hey, Melee, did you put in your for the voting for the biggest nerf when I think it was Earth Godzilla had its glory where nothing could kill him and he could march
I
off
forgot about that. I didn't include that one.
Just now,
the
going,
skin.
that has to be
the skin
the
that was
worst
bugged.
nerf because he was invincible. You couldn't kill that bastard.
For the players who are maybe new to the game that don't know, did one of you guys want to talk about that? Because I wasn't using Earth for that time.
Okay.
I didn't even know about it. That's so crazy. I didn't even know about it. And then I found out about it right after it was gone. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
I think I was the first one who had the skin. And I changed the skin and I decided to run the Mothra and I just put him in. And next thing I know, I played either a Japanese player or I played somebody. And the freaking thing would not die. And then I went into the chat and I said, hey, does anybody know about Girth with the skin? And I don't know if it was Spence, but it was somebody else going, yeah, I noticed that when you change his skins, he's just like double fast on his attack. Well, I think it was 3 times as fast, and it was 3 times the damage. It was insane how much damage. You could just do a DT and you could have their whole entire team right in front of him, and 2 hits he can kill everything and he wouldn't die. So that was what happened with Girth, is right after they did the studio mode and you could level them up through the studio to get the different skins. As soon as you placed him into like a burning skin, the thing became unstoppable. I mean, like literally unstoppable. You could throw a Leo at it. You could throw a G89, Leo, everything at it. And if you could just get them with a DT just far enough where he could do 2 hits, he could kill everything.
Chad is saying lore accurate Godzilla Earth.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Admin, wasn't yours like level 32 at that time?
It was maxed. It was level 30. There was no.
Yeah, that was absolutely the most painful hell of just watching that bastard march down the field.
Oh,
someone hit me with their Earth in that time, and I was just like, "Come on, man!" I like turn my fucking game off. I was like, "This is."
What I did love about it is when you face those Japanese players. When I had put Girth up, a lot of them just gave up, and that was one of the. That was pretty funny. But yeah, as soon as you saw him get halfway down the field, and you would put either Bio on water or you put Angie in front, something like a tank. The guy just would not die because
and this was pre-Leo.
I mean, one hit. This was one hit. It disintegrated. I mean, it just melted the team. So can you imagine if you had that with Eva's ability? You would not.
Just delete the entire field.
Yeah, just give up. But yeah, it was a showstopper. That's why I brought it up, because I'm thinking, it's the Mecha Gods, Mecha King Ghidorah, but I still think that Girth walking down the field and it being invincible to now you don't even see Girth, to the point where you do see most of the time you see people still run Mecha King Ghidorah because he's still a good unit. I mean, 2.8 is still not bad. I mean. But yeah, I mean, I think Girth was probably the biggest nerf because you went from even a level 16 or 18 Girth would still do incredible damage to people. I mean, it was just, he ruled. Look at Hulk. Hulk was so pissed that he dumped all of his G-Mats into him, and then 24 hours later
They took it down
took
immediately.
it back. He was so pissed. I want to write to him and have him give me back my G-Mats. So
And I think that the damage wasn't changed like on accident when the skin came. I think King Ghidorah, you were in the same boat as me, that we thought that maybe they were planning on adding stats to the skins that changed the characters, but then they decided not to, but forgot Earths or something. Someone was in that boat with me as well, that it was probably left over from something like that, because I find it strange that was the only skin that changed the attack so crazy.
It came out at that bug happened at the same time that Studio Mode came out.
Yeah.
And at the same time that Godzilla Earth had just been added to the shop. So the majority of us that had the level 30 Godzilla Earth at the time, we really didn't have much of an understanding of how strong that unit could be. And Studio Mode comes out, and of course all of us go grab the Burning Godzilla Earth skin because it's awesome. Yeah. We throw it on, and then I know many of us, we started using Godzilla Earth, like we logged in that patch day, we went and immediately grabbed the Godzilla Earth skin, stuck it on before even using Godzilla Earth once.
Yeah.
So I just thought either I had been like sleeping on Godzilla Earth or he had gotten a massive buff in the patch. I didn't realize it was a bug at first, and that if you took the skin off, then he went back to normal.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. But I forgot to add that to the... Oh, the chat wants to know, is there a best skin category? No, but I was going to ask anyway later what everyone's favorite skins were, so we're going to table that for later. But we're going to go to the next vote that we had. So that was worst unit of the year. Best unit of the year, I gave the options of Ultraman, the Fourth Angel, Unit 1, Kiryu Kai, and Godzilla Earth. And with 117 votes, Ultraman won. Second place is tied with 15 votes for Unit 1 and Godzilla Earth. What are your guys' thinking? At least if your favorite unit, or if you think the best unit of the year is not on this list, I'm talking about units that came out this year, not like Leo, who was a 2021 that got buffed.
Unit 1 just has problems with the animations. I mean, once that gets fixed, if that ever gets fixed, awesome unit. But until then, it's just not even in contention.
I agree. I think it's a much better leader. I think it's the best leader that we've gotten this year, period.
Oh, yeah. Eva? Yeah, I think Eva's probably... I don't know. I'm really starting to like Mecha MG21. I mean, if you can get bio on water and like Final Wars Gigan and a few of them going down, and all of a sudden they start throwing, the lovebirds out, and you hit that special move, lovebirds go poof.
I was doing that on Skull Island. I was dropping Biolante on the sides and Gigan in the middle, and then I would hit him with when I saw a Batra coming and a Leo, I would hit the alt, and Gigan just grounds Leo immediately, stuns him, and then Biolante just rips him up. Which is crazy that they added that to the game, and I wish that it was on a character that had a way less cooldown than Godzilla.
It's just the cooldown. That cooldown that's killing it, and with FWG hitting Mothra Leo, that is freaking awesome.
Oh yeah,
now.
Yeah, it's like he'll come and you use that, and then when Gigan's done, I mean, I'll tell you what, I seen him take out Leo and Batra, and then finally you have Fire Rodan finally taking him out. But then, I mean, think about it. You do 4, Bios 3, Final Wars Gigan's 3. You basically got 11 to 15. You got 4 energy left for the buff. So, and then they do damage to the leader. So, TS taught me that at least, and so did King Ghidorah. That's all about energy. And with energy base now being all over the place until they either fix the trains, it's all going to come down to that.
Yeah, Rise of Energy Base at the very end of 2021 was not something that I had on my Godzilla Battleline bingo card. Was Energy Base coming back because trains gets absolutely fucked.
There's an inherent bias here that I'm seeing. I was like, best unit of the year. Some of the options in there I'm not seeing. I don't think Godzilla 2004 is a mid unit. I think it's one of the most powerful in the game. And
I
would
so
argue
for
that-
clarification, I'd put mid unit because I didn't know how else to word like best unit that I didn't put in the category of worst or best. So I put all the characters that I like left out, and I did not put Mecha King Ghidorah in there because I think Mecha King Ghidorah is better than most of the units on here, but not the best unit of the year. But I don't think any of these mid units are actually bad. I think they're all pretty good. I just don't think that they were good enough to be the best unit of the year.
Well, based on the vote, I would give it to Fourth Angel. I think Fourth Angel is an absolutely game-changing unit that is just incredibly strong and accessible to most players because it's a 3-star, and I expect to see a ton of Fourth Angel this year.
Crazy
But
amount.
is Fourth Angel stronger than Final Wars Godzilla? I don't know. Final Wars Godzilla just got put in the shop. A lot of us are about to max him out, and I seem to distinctly recall him being really strong at level 10 when we were renting him. So
Yeah.
seeing him at level 30, 35, 40, I think Final Wars Godzilla is on the way.
Yeah, he's same thing. Like I said earlier, he at level 10 he was put in so much work, and it's just his attack animations, what he can do. He's just so good, and yeah, once he gets up, he's going to be everywhere.
I agree. I'm trying to get mine as powerful as I can. I'm really not pulling any. I'm getting super unlucky. All my shards are going to fucking Naranga, and I want it to go into the Fourth Angel really bad. But I think that the Fourth Angel, really good unit. Is it as good as Godzilla 2004? Maybe, maybe not. I personally haven't seen a case for either, or at least with those two competing against each other. However, I believe with the addition of this new debuff, the grounded air state, or whatever the hell it's called, I think that if more units get that debuff, Fourth Angel is going to become an extremely valuable component to teams.
We're starting to get to the point where strategies are becoming a lot more specific now. You can't really, I don't think you can really judge a unit in this game by how well-rounded it is.
I agree.
I think if a unit is amazing at a niche strategy that is really strong, then it is a good unit. And that's kind of where I land with Fourth Angel. Well, I actually would even argue that Fourth Angel is a good all-around.
I agree, and I think that I'm going to start making my tier list based on that as well, and not even because of Battle Line, but I did realize it Battle Line, but because of Marvel Snap. Funny enough, we talk about it all the time in the Whales Discord. But in Marvel Snap, there's a card that's Wong from, you know him from the Doctor Strange movies and the Avengers movies, stuff like that. Wong makes it so your on reveal, Wongers makes it so your on reveal abilities happen twice. Now, outside of an on reveal deck, useless card. In an on reveal deck, very, very broken. And a lot of people rate him really highly because in that one specific strategy, he's one of the best. I think Fourth Angel is like that as well. If you can get a deck going with like Mechagodzilla 21, or if there's another character that gets the low flying state debuff down the line, I think Fourth Angel is going to be really good in that context. I think like
Speaking
a lot
of
more.
flying state, by the way,
Yeah.
sorry to just insert
No, you're
this
chilling.
in here. I think that's what Giant Octopus needs.
Yes, I agree.
I think that Giant Octopus should do slow, stun, and low flying state, and that would just fix him. It would
How
straight up
Ultraman gets all the good shit like piercing and the long range and stun resistance, Giant Octopus should just be able to just dispense debuffs like crazy.
Giant Octopus has a 1 pixel attack range, so until that gets fixed,
They should switch it to Biolante attack range, give it low flying state and the 14-second slow that it has at 30.
okay, I'll max it.
I'm on my way. I just hit 30 with it.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna
I gotta
max
get it to
anyway
50.
for trolling. Yeah, like you gotta max Giant Octopus.
Of course, I want to get the icon. Admin one showed me the level 50 Giant Octopus icon, and I was like, God damn, that was like it's so sexy.
Yeah.
Our chat says Giant Octopus should be extremely tanky for how slow it moves. I agree. So the most mid unit. I'm sorry to cut you off, with 92% of the vote or 92 votes was Zayton, and I feel like I'm God's strongest Zayton defender. I really like him. I really like Zayton.
First 4-star in the game.
I don't like him. I don't like him at all. I mean, he's 8 man. He's 8 energy. It's I mean, kids maybe. I don't know.
I think
I,
that
I think it's fun, and I think he's really. I think once we get something that's really good on, like as soon as we get a card that does like defense up, I think Zayton's gonna be crazy with defense up because he's already super tanky. Its hitbox is gigantic. It just does no damage until it explodes. But if you can get defense up and keep other units focused on that, it's like a taunt totem. It like just stays up and takes all the aggro. I think
Just give it
Zayton is
taunt.
eventually going to be really good.
Yeah, if Zeton had taunt, yeah, absolutely.
I think he's like most characters in this game, like one minor change away from being fire. Just from being really good.
And everybody else on there is actually sort of good.
I think everyone on the most mid unit has like a really decent place in the meta game and very specific decks, maybe except for Godzilla 21 at the moment. But like I say, on the tier lists and like I say in general, every character is either one buff away from being really good or one new character away from pairing really well. You never know what synergies are going to come out of the woodwork. Like the low flying state. None of us could have predicted that. I mean, a feature that I think everyone wanted at one point or another, right? But none of us knew when it would be coming, if it would be at all. And now we have it. And now Final War Skygen can take Mothra Leo out of the sky.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about we're only one buff away from these units being relevant. If there's ever an attack speed debuff, Zeton's going to pop off. If Kids ever gets buffed, Zeton's going to pop off.
Yep.
He's like right there. I just think the only good play with Zeton is with Kids, and I think Kids is too expensive, and so
I agree.
That's just where I'm at with Zeton. You know what I think is interesting? I think it's interesting that Ultraman overwhelmingly won Best Unit of the Year, because like from my perspective with Ultraman, when he first came out, he was like obviously like godly. And then we just got so much more good stuff that he just kind of is mid to me now. Like, he doesn't do any damage.
You know what? I will piggyback off of that. I still think he's one of the best units in the game. I no longer think he's a necessary pick in every deck. I used to, when he came out, like the month after, I was like, if you're not running Ultraman, like, what are you doing? Especially if you have a high one, like, because he's great. I'm playing a lot now with Burning Godzilla and Kiryu Kai, and I'm not even placing the Ultraman in my deck half the time.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm going straight in for more power.
Psychic Chorus just sort of kind of shuts Ultraman down a little bit.
Yeah, because it's his damage is not doing too much. I mean, he had that damage nerf, and it's not like it was a crazy amount of damage. I really don't even think that damage nerf is a noticeable amount, but compared to the damage boosts that we've gotten and the characters' damage that they're outputting, I think it. I feel like some of it is a direct response to like Leo and Ultraman. Like, they're not going to nerf these units, but they're going to try to make units stronger to deal with them easier. Is what I think they're going to end up doing.
I'm not even running Psychic Course anymore in my main deck because I think everything's gone to such spike damage. Everything does such high numbers. Psychic Course is kind of useless because you don't have those low tick AoEs anymore. Everything's doing 1,000.
Yep. I'm using it just to keep like a push alive, but I'm not using it to like reliably heal my units in the middle of battle. Like if I'm just on the enemy leader, I'll drop it for like maybe I'll get like 2 extra hits.
Yeah, Psychic Chorus is only a good use of energy if you are healing 2 or 3 units with it. It is not good if you're just healing one thing.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I have for the final category before I ask. I have questions that I prepared for you guys. I have the final category that I'm going to put like friend matches on, so chat can battle friend matches and we can have our discussion, is Best Leader of the Year. And the options that I gave were Mecha King Ghidorah, Mecha Godzilla 2021, EVA Unit 1, Godzilla 2004, and Ultraman for Best Leaders of the Year. Because we didn't really get too many. I didn't include Fyrodan and Ultima on here. But I think that Ultima might have a spot on the Best Leader list.
Yeah, I would definitely always take Ultima before I would take Mecha King Ghidorah, Final Wars Godzilla, and Ultraman.
I'm using Unit 1 in my current deck as my leader, and I'm loving having her just destroy the entire field.
Yep, Eva is the best leader. Eva's the best leader this year. It's kind of... If we go back earlier when we were talking about... King Ghidorah being nerfed and not being so good anymore, and then how everything is one nerf buff or new release away from being relevant. King
Yeah.
Ghidorah and Mecha King Ghidorah pair so incredibly well with Eva, and Eva is one of the strongest leaders in the game. So I can see why you might be like, oh, well, King Ghidorah is not a good unit for 7. He is, if one breath kills everything because you just neutered an entire push with Eva. And you can even do it early in the game. One of my favorite.
All right, so we are back with the stream. It's up.
Hello, I think the stream is crashed.
Yeah, it crashed again. We're back though. I'm gonna put it back on in the Discord though. It's absolutely scuffed stream.
Oh, is that Mike Ryan?
Oh, Mike Pine is here now? Hell yeah.
Just for a bit, I'm using my headphones, but I'm not in my current setting.
No worries. We're happy to have you. I'm re-putting the stream stuff up. Stream is back up. Whoops. Yeah, super scuffed. I'm just not gonna touch that stuff anymore. The window capture stuff was terrible. Oh well,
Alright,
stream
so-
pressure seeing MG21, how poor of a unit is, yeah. So we should be back now. I can do okay. Deleting the window capture should be fine. I think the window capture is what was messing everything up. Oh, that's my whole Discord. I'm trying to not dox myself, of course, like I always am on stream.
You might as well just come out and just say your name, man.
At this point. Okay, so everyone is coming back for the most part. No, I stopped blowing up on stream. Okay, there we go.
I could feel that in my
There we go. And we got to subscribe. So that's the huge W. Huge W. We got to subscribe after all this nonsense bullshit. All right, so we're going to do another window capture just for that. But I have a question for you guys, and we kind of been talking about it already this whole time. And that is, what is your favorite unit this year? All of your favorite units this year. Your top unit, doesn't matter. Could be whatever.
I mean, you already know what I'm gonna say, but besides Girth, obviously, again, final words, Godzilla is just so cool.
I agree. I like the Final Wars Godzilla as well. My favorite unit of the year is probably Unit 1. If I had to just like say my favorite outright. There we go. Now I have everyone here on the screen and we can see who's talking. Perfect. And that was... So for everyone who's coming back to the stream now, it was the window capture of the Discord that was crashing the stream, but we're back. And I'll just delete the old stream and edit it into this one and I'll cut it up. So it'll be nice.
Even one's unit, the design, the way it comes onto the board, the way it looks, that big, humongous gun, just ba-da-da, ba-da-da. It's so awesome. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that is really awesome. Fix the animations, give it some love.
I know. I think the animations need a little bit of work, but at the end of the day, it could be a worse unit. I think it's a fun unit, and I think she's the best leader, and she's definitely my favorite looking unit of the year. And I'm not like a crazy Ultraman fan. Like, I don't really know too much about Ultraman, so I don't want to say one of the Ultraman units are my favorite units of the year. But I think Naranga is the best model for sure.
Mechagodzilla, his attack, that punch, it's the most Chad animation in the game, I think.
The big like laser punch. I agree.
Yeah,
I think the big laser punch is crazy.
Boom, and he makes that noise. Oh, it's so I want to make him work so bad, but it just won't work. His range.
What doesn't work?
Mechagodzilla 04 his range is just too. He just gets hit. He just gets taken down.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we're talking about our favorite units of the year.
Oh, right. Yeah, I already said Fourth Angel for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
well, there you
Fourth
go.
Angel. Yeah.
I like honestly, I always forget like Godzilla 1954, like 1954, and Gigan are units from this year as well. I keep forgetting that they came out too because they weren't as recent as whatever the fuck, like Ultraman and stuff. Just learning about this Godzilla Battleline Melee Discord. I'll have to join. Is there a link? Godzilla, yes, there's a link in the description of all my videos to the Discord. You're more than welcome to join. EVA Unit 1, as chat says, EVA Unit 1, you have a push coming right, and then guess what happens? It's dead. Yeah, so why does MG21 have roars different than the movie? Probably rights licensing, if I had to guess. Oh, I'm not paying attention to the battle on the screen.
EVA 1's death scream, too, is just like the most awesome sound in the game.
Oh, Shinji screaming?
Yeah, it's
like,
just
ah! Yeah.
yeah,
I
awesome.
think they lifted that scream straight out of one of the old episodes. I think it's the episode where he... God, what the fuck? I think it's when Asuka dies. I don't know if anyone in here has watched EVA, in the chat at least. I mean, I know on my stream chat people have definitely watched, but I don't know if any of you guys have. I think Mecha Kingdor, you started it. But there's a point where Asuka... I don't think she dies, but she gets like very gravely injured at least, and he screams. And I think they lifted that scream straight from there.
That's cool. Yeah, and final words, Gigan. Dude, Jesus, it's sturdy. It's sturdy. The stun is sturdy, and it's what he does sometimes. It's just sturdy. That's a really good unit too.
I didn't realize that he counted. It's really hard between him and Fourth Angel then. I just think it's really fun. I
always forget that he came out in February of this year. Kids and Gigan were this year.
Yeah. And the problem with the G54 is this, Godzilla 04 is the problem with him.
Oh, TG and LC Gamers. I don't know if you've played them in Battleline. I have a few times, I think. They say Godzilla 2004 was their favorite unit. A unit which can counter close and long range units with a lot of health and speed.
Yes, absolutely.
I think it's a pretty good unit all around.
Great unit.
Oh, and Laneavix is here as well in the chat. He says you got good relations with I Got's Crayon, so shout out. Lane's giving you a shout out, Crayon. But yeah, hold on. I'm gonna change my deck for this because this Mecha Godzilla deck that I made, not really hitting because I'm not really paying attention. I want something I can just kind of like AFK while we talk.
Yeah, you gotta bring some power, man, because you're gonna be distracted.
Listen. If they could beat my ass on the stream as much as they want. Clip it. Make it popular. Get me some views. Damn it.
Well, now you don't have to deal with the train, so...
Oh, you're right. I don't have to really deal with the trains, so we're chilling a little bit, I think. Oh, chat says, Pans, you should have a beer. They say you sound like you need a beer.
Dude, I've got 3 of them in front of me, so I don't have to get up.
So that was your favorite units of the year. This is a little bit more complicated, especially off the top of your head if you don't have your phone with you. What have been your favorite decks that you used this past year? You don't have to go through the whole deck list because there's obviously a lot of characters, but like a core combo that you use in your decks maybe, or if you know off the top of your head all the characters in a specific deck. Like, I know this chat uses a lot of different decks to climb the ladders to get kills and stuff. What have been your guys' like favorite decks to use this year?
Oh, my favorite deck was Girth with Mothra and PC, and keeping the Girth alive. You guys were talking earlier when Girth had that buff that he didn't die, he was unstoppable. Well, that's usually what happens in my matches. My Girth doesn't die, he just lives and he just wins. And yeah, that's definitely my favorite deck to use to climb.
King Ghidorah, I feel like you probably have a good deck.
I have this deck that it just became good last month with Fourth Angel, but so I think so first of all, my favorite decks to use lately have been Gigan pushing stuff, especially Gigan pushing
like the
Fourth
72
Angel.
Gigan.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have this deck that is it's Godzilla 89 lead, and it's got Gigan and Fourth Angel, which is one play, And
Okay.
then it's also got Mothra Leo and Kiryu, which is another play. And basically, you alternate between playing those two, and each of those plays are incredibly strong and cheap, especially Kiryu and Mothra Leo. You know, it's let's just do a friend match. Let me show it to you, and we can show it on the stream so you can see.
That would be perfect. I'm in the middle of a match at the moment
Yeah,
with
after
I like
that-
your sack. So let's whoever I like your sack is. So
What the hell?
keep that in mind.
That's got to be knee.
I feel like it has to be Melee. I think Knee's last stream was like Melee's left nut or something
Yeah.
like that.
Oh
And
yeah,
he
I
was the
remember
final
that.
match. I was like, and he immediately after stream went DM. He's like, "Yeah, you like that, you bitch." I was like, all right, chill. But my favorite deck of the year is the one I'm using on stream at the moment, and it's just, and I'm gonna say it. Chat can get mad at me. It's just a meta slave deck. Like, it is so aggressively like meta slave. It's Eva leader, because I want to incorporate her into my team at any and all costs, and she's not that good on the field at the moment. And then it's Kiryu, Burning Godzilla, Ultraman, Batra, Mothra Leo, and the Kamakuras. And I just straight just drop them on the field and just AFK the entire match and just let them do whatever they're doing, because they're all in the 20s for me.
You know what? That actually reminds me of my second favorite deck that I played this year, and that was the deck that I used to get first place.
What was that deck?
It was the most brainless thing you could imagine.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, I call it my AFK deck because I would be playing on an emulator on my work computer, and this is how I got first place because my units were so strong. And this deck was just the most brainless units in the game. It was Biolante leader, so that it would have a 360-degree attack.
Yeah.
So, per defense, Biolante has the best defense of a leader, besides maybe Ultima. I suppose that's a matter of opinion. So it was Biolante leader, and then you had Burning Godzilla, Mephilos, Base Godzilla, Godzilla 54. No, wait, I'm sorry. Ultima was the leader.
Okay.
Ultima was the leader in that deck when I was using 54. That way, 54 could not yield a discounted Ultima. Yeah, so it was basically just an entire deck of the ground-walking, air-hitting bruisers. 1954, Burning Godzilla, Space Godzilla.
And you just drop them and just let them go.
Literally just... Oh, funny enough, it also had
I'm gonna lose here.
Mecha Godzilla.
Uh-huh. The 1993 one, of course.
Yeah. And it had Mothra Leo, because Mothra Leo is another just brainless, just drop it and
Yeah.
it wins. Yeah, that was fun because
Oh, here, put your room code up for whatever deck you wanted to use, by the way, and I'll get in there.
good even when your opponent is trying, because it's just so overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that strategy. That's like the only time I can beat you.
Is when he's not even paying attention.
Yeah, it was AFK. I was like, oh yeah, what's up?
Put your
Yeah,
code
making
in.
I'm making a room right now.
Yeah, so everyone can see the deck that you use.
But I do remember that AFK deck, and even like I was battling for my life, and yeah, he was just like, oh, I wasn't even watching. I'm like, oh, awesome.
Yeah, I see so many times in like the Discord, either this Discord that we're in or my Discord, where someone will at King Ghidorah and they'll be like, "Oh, that was such a great battle," and he's like, "I wasn't even looking."
Right?
Ah, you
It's like,
beat me.
you know,
Ah,
you're
it's alright.
fighting-
Whatever.
And you were fighting so hard to try to beat him, and like we finally do it. It's like, oh, and he's like, oh, dude, I was
Yeah,
like
it's
in the
whatever.
bathroom. Yeah, I was just walked away.
I set the stream to just do whatever.
All right, I PM'd you the code.
Can you just put it in the high level strategy? I can't open my private message at the moment because
Yeah.
the Discord is on the screen.
Yeah, no problem.
Red battle. Oh shit, nope, that's fair. Back out. Friend battle. Enter the room code. I'm not normally the one who enters the code. Ah, King Ghidorah with the king, of course. Money... Chat says money spent, let's hear it. Or is this a taboo subject?
I'm
Who
happy,
said
I'm happy
that?
to talk about it.
What did you say, Mike?
Who said that?
Godzilla.
Godzilla asked in the chat. Money spent, question mark.
$600.
Lane also says King Ghidorah telepathically places units randomly.
I've spent $600 on the game.
Alright, that's valid.
I've grinded a lot, though. I've grinded a lot.
Yeah. I grind a
spent,
lot. What'd you spend, Mike? I'm curious. I've been wanting to know.
100,000 pesos.
1,000 pesos? What is that, like $2?
Exactly.
He said 100,000. That's 20.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know the conversion.
I only buy the pass, honestly. Like, rarely I buy some bundles. For instance, I bought the last bundle that I don't know how much was it for you, but for me it was like 18,000 pesos, which is like close to $20.
Okay. I saw someone
Godzilla
said
icon.
someone posted their offer for the Mechagodzilla bundle that's in the store now. That's like 64 US. They posted from whatever their country was, and it was like hundreds of thousands of whatever from their country. I don't even know what the currency was. Crazy.
300,000 rubles.
Now, why
Something like
didn't
that.
Ultraman. Sometimes the game just does stuff like that, where like Ultraman was in it, but it just decided not to pull him.
Yeah. Or in the last game that I played, I don't know if it's a connection issue
Yeah,
or some
it
mechanic
happens.
where like Psychic Course just disappears.
Oh, it just
yeah.
fizzled. Yeah,
It just
so
like fizzles out
frustrating.
immediately, and I don't know like what the hell that is, if that's like a bug or what. Oh, I see you pushing the fourth angel like that. That is a sneaky tactic.
That fourth angel explosion actually fizzles PC automatically.
Interesting. So it's like a counter to us. I think it's the explosion because I think Burning was doing it too. Is Administration 1 on the server? Yeah, Administration 1 was here earlier. He, I guess, had to go or something.
He had to go.
Wait, we still haven't heard how much KG's spent on the game.
8 billion.
I'm playing right now, so hold on a second.
Gotta check with the bank. I'll tell you this much about me. I'll give you this. On the day one Destroyer stream where we tried to pull him, my bank shut my account down. When we were pulling him.
It's like you had to have got hacked.
They were like, this is very suspicious. And I was like, no, it's donations,
Oh,
I
that
swear.
fourth angel explosion was so stupid right there. Yeah, fourth angel's crazy.
So did you
Didn't
spend
King
more
Ghidorah
with
say he wasn't a
Destroyer?
whale one season and then said he was the next? I believe King Ghidorah is not a whale as in a constant whale, but has spent like, you correct me if I'm wrong, but you spend like a large amount of one shot to get where you need to go, and then that's it for like however long.
Yeah, basically.
I feel like that's the lore. I was like that in Marvel Strike Force for a while, where I would like I didn't like buy every unit, but if there was like a team that I really wanted, I would like buy all the members of that team, and then like call it a day there. Oh, I'm not even paying attention, and you just came up on me with all these fucking destroyers and the explosion. That's a pretty impressive deck.
That's gonna hurt. Oh!
William Jr., welcome. It's been a while. Hell yeah. Someone says, I heard someone on here say that they play at work on an emulator. Man, if I use that sus job, I would have more money to buy Pan's beer.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Things are getting rough nowadays.
But that was a good deck. So, what were the units in that? Was Gigan, Leo, Kiryu, Psychic Chorus, Fourth Angel.
Yeah. So the strategy is essentially you've got two plays. You've got Mothra, Leo, and Kiryu. That's a pair. And
Okay.
then you've got Gigan and Fourth Angel.
Okay.
That's a pair. You've got Psychic Chorus, and you've got Dimension Tide to heal up and pull things into the explosion. But basically, first thing you do in the deck is as soon as somebody plays something, well, they've made a mistake, because you're going to play Mothra Leo on the other side, and then you're going to play Kiryu. You're going to Deep Strike Kiryu to the back corner, So basically, Kiryu's going to land, and what are you going to do when you see a Mothra Leo being played on the opposite side? You're going to drop a Kamacuras, or you're going to drop something that would stop a Mothra Leo. Well, Kiryu's going to kill whatever you drop. Alternatively, if you decide you're going to counter the Kiryu, then you're probably dropping something single and strong, which Mothra Leo is going to kill. And then the two of them together have huge DPS. So you play that, and you almost always end up just taking a huge chunk out of the enemy. It's just a super aggressive play. Then Gigan and Fourth Angel is basically guaranteed damage on the enemy leader. He's going to push him up, and then he's going to explode.
Okay.
So it's hyper aggressive. Most people aren't ready for it, and it's really funny.
I thought I was managing it well until the end. I looked away and I turned back around. Gigan's pushing the Fourth Angel at me, and I was like, "Oh fuck!" This is like there's nothing I can do about that one.
Extreme violence.
There's very few counters for it too.
Yeah.
Oh, and that deck was better when trains hit twice. You know?
Oh yeah, you're throwing trains in there.
Everything was better when train hit twice.
So now I have Burning Godzilla in place of trains because nothing really replaces
Makes sense.
Old trains. But
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
It's pretty fun. It's fast too. So if you get it paired against a bot, like you can just demolish it. So.
And actually, Jaden asked in the chat, he wants me to ask you guys about what buffs and nerfs you would like to see. And I think I had a question very similar to that in here somewhere. I had written down, what do you hope changes, I think, is what it was. But do you guys have any buffs or nerfs you would want to see in the new year that you think need to be made or should be made? Or ones that you would just like to see because you're biased on a specific unit? Pan's Earth.
Absolutely buff Girth. Go ahead. Please.
Do
I
it.
dare you.
Do it, cowards. Buff them.
I dare you. Give him the Badger treatment. Just give him like 3 buffs in a row. Go ahead.
I like it's the Hedera treatment. It's just give him buffs for no reason other than you can.
No, I would really like to see some kind of nerf to Dimension Tide. I think Dimension Tide's a little bit too strong.
Interesting. Okay. I feel like I think I would like to see Mephilas get his energy reduced or his stats increased. Because for the cost, I don't think he's as good as some others in that bracket, but I definitely think his kit is a very solid foundation. And I think that Mephilas needs just a little bit of love. And I think he could be a really good unit. Maybe if he was like 4 and his stats were exactly the same, he would be like cracked.
That way would be too strong, in my opinion.
That's what I'm saying. Let's get him. Let's his time to shine. He's not played at all.
Make him busted.
Exactly. Just make him like Ultraman. Just make him absolutely fucking busted.
Oh yeah,
give him stun resistance.
He should definitely be like a counterpart to Ultraman, like he is in the movie. Like in the movie, he gives a really good fight.
Exactly, and then in this game, he does stun. Ultraman is immune to stun. So what's the point?
Doesn't Mephilas beat Ultraman 1v1 in Battle Line?
I think they trade now.
I think in fixed, but in ranked, show me someone rocking Mephilas. Yeah. Especially to counter Ultraman.
And I mean, 1v1 is just nothing that we see in this game.
Yeah. I think 1v1s are a
43.
Your what? Your Mephilas is 43?
Oh god.
Jesus Christ.
So we still haven't got that money count, man.
So I actually don't know how much I have spent because honestly it's a little here, a little there over the past year, but what I'll say is that I've done some math and some spreadsheets on what it takes to max out a Godzilla Battle Line account, and I think it takes about $4,000 or $5,000 depending on luck. I
think that's very generous, depending on luck.
Yeah, the luck factor.
Yeah,
not a ton of luck. It all averages out. The luck with the luck factor is how many 12-hour maps you get when you get to the gold part of the grind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
There's two halves there's two halves of the grind to maxing out a Godzilla battle account. There's getting the pieces, and then there's getting the gold to buy the 4 stars from the shop.
So are you saying so in this scenario, are you say you spend $5,000 on gems? Are you just playing and opening boxes, or are you spending them on the 2,000 coin boxes? I imagine you're just grinding and opening every box you get immediately.
Yes, that. I have never opened a 2,000 gem box ever.
Oh wow.
Good man.
Those are a ripoff.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
those are scam.
I get constantly on my comments. People are like, "I bought this. I spent like all my coins I saved up for months on these boxes, and I got nothing. Can you explain this?" And I was like, "In every video, man. In every video."
Look at the percent chance.
Math. They publish the odds. It's like
Yeah, the odds are right there.
Yeah.
the odds are for. It increases the likelihood that you'll get the one you want, not the likelihood that you'll get anything at all. So,
Yeah. Exactly.
It's just like Mega Millions. Even though I got a ticket, man, you ain't gonna win it.
Yeah,
Chat says Pans that they're behind lowering the cost of girth. I
Oh
want you
God,
to know
no!
that.
Don't do it! Don't do it! I'm telling you, don't do it. Girth is so strong, guys. You just gotta protect him. He's so strong.
I have a lot of balance changes I would like to see, but most of them aren't just stats. Like, I would make little changes to units that would probably fundamentally change how they work. Like I was saying earlier about Giant Octopus pull down.
I think would be great. My original idea when I first was campaigning for Giant Octopus, what I said I wanted them to do was be able to grapple units out of the air, or just grapple units in general and have them be like a snare trap. That was my original, like, what I would like for him to do, and he didn't. And listen, I'm okay with him being the best in a studio mode, but I wish that he had grappled.
That would be so cool too.
I would like to see Mothra have the same evolution time as Batra. I don't really understand why Mothra has this awkwardly long evolution time, especially when debatably Mothra isn't as good of a result as Batra is. So like, why does it take so long to evolve Mothra?
Yeah.
It's silly.
No, that's a great point.
I agree.
It can defend itself better as a larva because of the attack boost.
I'll tell you a buff that I think was stupid was King Caesar.
Oh, with the rush being faster.
Oh,
That's
cool
though. He doesn't even walk anymore.
He doesn't. He attacks.
That's great.
He's just a missile all the time.
That's great.
And people still
I
ain't
thought
using
that made
him.
it better.
You don't see him that much. You still don't see him that much, but he's freaking scary, man.
Yeah, I know. There used to be some counterplay to him where you could like try to rush something in there before he started speaking, and I guess they basically decided counterplay he was too bad, so now he's always going to get his charge.
Oh, shout out Odo Island Podcast. They just got in the match with us. What's up, Slick?
Yeah.
Let's beat the shit out of him on stream.
Here's a better podcast.
yeah, Slick. Get on here, Slick.
But Gigan 04 is, he still shuts down King Caesar. He still does it.
Yeah, for sure. It's still Space Godzilla, Kamakuros even. It still has many of counterplay. So I don't think it's that busted, honestly. Even with the Perma Rush.
Yeah, I'm still finding it incredibly easy to deal with Caesars. I'm just now having to find myself react much faster to them than I would have. Before it was like, oh, I have like 3 seconds of leeway where, Caesar's coming in and I can kind of just futz around for a second. Now I'm like, oh, Caesar's here, better get the Kamakuros out faster.
Yeah.
But he's still manageable. I think it makes him a little bit better, but as long as you're not a dummy and you know how to deal with a unit like that, then I think you're in a good place. I think new players maybe have more difficulty with, and this is purely speculation, but I think newer players are having a harder time with Caesars from at least what I've seen, because they didn't play in a time where Caesars were everywhere and you had to deal with Caesars super fast. But they have to deal with Leo, who's almost the same kind of thing. But I feel like people just underestimate Caesar.
Worse. Yeah. No, definitely. But I would say Leo is way worse because of its very high HP. Leo being one of the tankiest flying units makes no sense to me. Like, imagine Leo has more health than King Ghidorah.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
So
Leo is
actually, I was gonna say that that is one of the nerfs that I want to see. I want Leo to get his health nerf. I think it really needs to.
yeah, it does. Leo is just so busted. It's so. I mean, go ahead.
That's what pushes him over the edge, is that he's also a tank. In addition to being a flying charge, big damage thing, he's also tanky.
Yeah, he's got so much. Like we always say, Ultraman has a lot really going for him. Leo also has a lot going for him too, behind the scenes. And if you're not looking at the stats and you don't realize that he's just like an insane stat stick, and has a great rush ability.
I'll tell you one thing that I think could be nerfed, although it's not a nerf, it's a bug fix. If they don't frickin' fix Rodan when he evolves into Fire Rodan,
I hate that.
Yeah,
you get
so
that
annoying.
ghost hit on him, like, oh, it's the worst, and like it actually like it's part of what makes Fire Rodan so strong, because I can't tell you how many times I would have won exchanges if my units had just simply switched to their next target after Rodan.
Right?
It's so weird. No, go ahead, Ben.
I've done gotten so used to it. If they actually fixed it, it would mess me up because I'm planning for it now. You know, it's crazy. I don't know why it does that.
I gotta reload Battle Line. It crashed when Super Tom joined. Shout out Super Tom. We're back.
Shocker that it crashed.
Shocker, Battle Line crashed.
I'm pretty sure that the trains thing is intentional.
The accidental bug or nerf to trains?
Yeah, I think that they're just trying it out.
To see what it's like.
I think that they know how disruptive trains is, and they also ran into a situation where it was a big pain in the butt to make trains work with Mechagodzilla 2021, since that's changing the amount of times something should be hit by trains.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that they're just like, well, we got to release Mechagodzilla. Trains is a problem. We don't feel like fixing it because we're Godzilla Battle Line devs, and so they just turned off half damage for trains. That's really what I think
Chat
happened.
is asking if I love trains and Dimension Tide combo. The answer is fucking no. But
actually, going on King Ghidra's like theory, maybe they didn't want to announce it just to not make Melee happy. Like
no. I'm convinced Toho will do anything in their power to make my life miserable. And that includes making the Giant Octopus the worst unit you ever seen and clowning on him.
Trains only hits Sir Melee twice.
They're gonna be like, if Sir Melee is in play, trains hit 3 times. Like,
well, you know what? That would make you unique. So I would be honored by that.
That would. I'm trying to listen. I'm trying to get onto the Godzilla wiki. I'm already on Wikizilla. So that's a start. And next, if I get this special treatment from Toho, then I'll know I'll hit it big. It's not every day you get a multi-million corporation to buckle beneath your octopus, your tentacles.
Yeah, rise up.
I listen. That's definitely a highlight of 2022, personally.
Oh yeah.
Chat wants to know, though, however, before we get too deep into the Giant Octopus, and I would love to hear all your praises, of course. But chat wants to know, how many hours do you guys think you spend a day on this game?
It depends. Sometimes on the days that I'm not working, I might play 12 hours.
Okay, that's fair enough.
For me, it's reverse.
I heard that beer crack.
I use.
It's just such a fun game. It's such a good game. It's so fun to play. It doesn't feel like grinding, you know? Like, I'm not really grinding. I'm playing. I'm having fun. It's a great game, and I'm getting some gold here and there too, right?
Exactly. It's the grind at the end of the day.
Yeah. I would say for me too. Oh, go ahead, King.
Wait, hold on. While you guys talk about that, I gotta run to the bathroom, so I'm muting myself, but feel free to just talk about it. Don't say anything I wouldn't say.
Okay. Trains is great.
I like getting trained.
This is your chance to get Sir Melee's channel banned. Just say a whole bunch of
No,
racist
no,
now, and he's
No,
gone.
let's not do that.
Okay,
No,
let
the
me
guy-
give you my opinion on.
The guy entrusted us with his channel. Let's not. let's not
Maybe,
get
maybe,
negative.
maybe he wants it. Maybe this is his way of letting go.
No.
I play-
Yeah, how much do you guys play?
I play. For me, it depends on if I'm playing any other games at the same time or at what part in the season it is. If it is the second week of a season,
I'm back.
the unit is brand new and it's good and it's fun to play, and everybody's engaged and the community's engaged and everybody's happy, then I'm playing a lot. But if it's quiet, like I might play 2 or 3, 4 hours a day, like on something like that. Like Battleline might be the only game that I'm playing.
Like
But-
last month, like December, when it was like when nobody was playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like this month, I'm barely playing at all. Just because, well, first of all, I kind of need a little bit of a break, but also I'm just playing other video games right now. So
I'm in the same boat. This last month for December, I really wasn't playing Battleline too much. There's not a lot going on aside from the beginning and the end of the seasons. So I put I put like 70 something hours into Marvel Midnight Suns, and God knows how much more into Snap.
I've been playing Conan Exiles, which
That's an awesome game.
well, somehow it was completely off my radar for years.
That's the game with the dick slider, right? You can like choose to have like a
the one.
huge cock. Yeah.
the dick slider and the boob slider. I have both.
God.
Gotta go for the little cock.
Yeah, it's really cool. You can literally get a battle axe and run around naked with it all flopping around and repeat the
Damn,
main
just
story.
like me in real life for real. Don't go to Ohio.
Pure berserker style.
So Mike Fine, how much do you play a day?
I was going to say, for me, it's the reverse of you, Pence, because I work from home, and I work as a technical support. So I mainly write tickets all day. So I needed like a quick distraction, and Godzilla Battleline was the game for me. So I usually play more while I'm at my job, but now I'm on vacation, and I was going to say, January was going to be like the month I wanted to play the most. But now that I have the free time, I usually go woodworking here in my home. I like to make furniture, so I spend more time with that. I also found out that I can emulate things for my tablet. Like I recently rediscovered my love for Donkey Kong 64. So I've been
Good
playing.
Oh,
game.
nice.
Good
Oh,
game.
yeah.
Oh, wow, that's great. Oh, you're playing Squad Leader Leave 8, man. You better watch out.
I know. I either win in a very close battle or I get absolutely fucking stomped, and I'm half paying attention, so I'm probably gonna. I think I've won one battle tonight.
Yeah, right.
But
Well, this has been a great discussion, so it's worth it.
I know. Listen. I get to have a great discussion. People get to just absolutely ruin me on stream. Just wait until I'm in my bed at 3 a.m. losing in Snap, and I switch to this and decide to take my anger out on you guys. And I put G89 leader on. And I actually try.
See, I'm the opposite.
Don't come to Battleline tomorrow, is what I'm trying to say.
I get beat up in Battleline, then I go beat noobs in Snap.
God,
Oh,
I
same goes here.
I don't want to get off topic with Snap because that could be a whole different stream.
Oh, you ain't lying.
But I think this season I'm gonna try to hit infinite. I really tried on the first season with Venom to get the Venom back, and I missed it. I was at 78 at the end of the season, but I went 2 days ago. I went from 35 to 48 in like an hour because Pans. That was after you were like, you just gotta be snapping more, and I just started snapping at the beginning of every match, and I went up like crazy.
Yes, that's how you do it. Snap on them.
I told that to my brother too, and he sent me a pic. He's like, "Am I doing it right?" He's like 83, and I'm like, "Jesus, I was like, chill out."
No, it's not enough.
But
Purple Lock over here asking if you could add one more legendary unit, who would it be? As if anybody would not say King Ghidorah. Come on, man. He's the missing one. He's the missing
Right?
one. There's a missing legendary monster that should be there, and it isn't. And
it's Titanosaurus.
It's Monster Zero. Okay? So,
I mean,
Oh.
I do love Monster vs. Rodan. So for me, it would be that one.
Oh, that's a good one. I got some good. I think I got some sleepers on who I think would be a good addition to this game. I
What's the best
personally, I think Godzilla 1998 would be a great unit.
Oh yeah.
I
What's
think.
his ability? What's his ability gonna be?
legendary.
Okay,
That's
hear me
what-
out.
that's what-
I don't know how many of you have played Teamfight Tactics. And I
No.
don't really it's a League of Legends game, but it's not like League, it's like almost like auto chess. Where you like set the characters up in a certain way, they all do different things, and then the battle just commences automatically. If you win, you win, you don't, you don't. I don't remember what it was, because this was years ago the last time I played it, but there was a character that it was an assassin class character, and it would jump immediately when the game started, it would jump behind enemy lines and start attacking from behind. I think since in Final Wars, G89 or G98 was jumping around, and then in the movies and the shows, it's very agile. I think 89 would be really sick in this game if 98, when you play him, he would like not run up to a unit, but like play normally. But if a unit like wasn't targeting him, he would jump behind the enemy unit and like take aggro and like turn them completely around.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I think that would be interesting because we don't have we have like almost an assassin character like in Gaigan Final Wars where he just runs up, stuns, takes aggro, and does DPS. He has like not a lot of attack but a lot of speed. I think G98 could be an agile unit that goes behind enemy lines, or maybe burrows and comes up behind them or something. Just like takes aggro. I think would be very, very sick.
Yeah, as long
Not-
as he plays that freaking Puff Daddy Led Zeppelin song every time.
Cashmere.
Yeah, but it was Puff Daddy. Like you gotta have Puff Daddy. I remember it was Puff Daddy that sampled Led Zeppelin.
Led
right?
Zeppelin, yeah.
I'm not
That's
gonna
what I
start
want.
singing.
I
Okay,
want-
As
hear
long
my
as the
voice.
unit is in the field, that music you can hear it. You know what? As long as it is an interesting unit, I'm all down. Because
I agree.
I think the game really needs that. I'm really tired of the basic Godzilla that is slow and throws his atomic breath. Like
Yep.
we already seen the Godzilla GMK model. I'm really afraid that is going to be like the attack of that version of Godzilla.
I think it's also going to just be something that's like the fire breath, and they're going to call it a day. But my second option for something that I would like to see that's kind of a low key is Zone Fighter. I think Zone Fighter would be sick.
Zone Fighter. Is
I
that
don't
an
know.
Ultraman?
Zone Fighter is a Toho property that was it was Toho's version of Ultraman during the Showa era. It was a TV show that was all like tokusatsu, like Suitmation and all that. Godzilla appears in it. It's canon with the Showa series of movies,
I
and
remember this.
canonically, that's where Gaigan 72 dies.
Oh no.
So
Yeah, I've seen some gifs.
yeah, so
Okay.
I think Zone Fighter deserves to be in this game. He wasn't in Kaiju Collector, and he wasn't in Defense Force. I think Zone Fighter deserves to be in this game.
I just Google imaged
Oh.
him, and he would fit perfect in the Power Ranger team. So like, I'm all for it.
Green Ranger.
Get
All day
him, Nephilos, Ultraman, JJ, other
Green
JJ.
Ranger.
Green
Like,
Ranger would be
oh,
a
he-
sick collab unit.
It's basically just another Ultraman, so yeah, of course.
exactly. I had
Right.
another good option for my third. I always had like the top three, but I can't remember who I would pick for my third. And it was someone else that's like kind of low key, but I can't remember who it is right now. So I'll just say Void Ghidorah. I think would be very sick in this game. Very unique character design and abilities. I don't know how they would work it into this game, maybe as an effect or something, but I think it would be crazy. I think that they can have a lot of fun with Void Ghidorah. Or
At
an
the-
entire
at the
map that's
Godzilla
Mechagodzilla
Earth thing?
City. Yeah, the thing from Earth.
Oh yeah, I think what you do with Void Ghidorah is you place it like you would Zeton, where it just stands there, and anything that gets close to it, it just demolishes.
That would be sick. I remember like months ago, because I don't really frequent too much of my Discord, the kits channel, like fan made kits one, but I had one I think for King Ghidorah, Void Ghidorah, where you like place it down, and the heads like spawn randomly around the map, and like they would be like turrets or something like that, like, almost like the Space Godzilla crystals. But like they would fire back, and you would have to shoot down the heads. But if you killed one, the other two would still be there, so you'd have to get them all.
Yeah, but that doesn't sound good.
I know.
Anything random
We're dealing
is
with the
bad.
Toho devs here. I don't think it would be good to begin with. Oh, Miller's going berserk in the back. I don't know if you can hear him.
Oh yeah, Miller. Oh, you
Oh,
got a
going
robber
nuts.
coming up.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. He went crazy. Probably just heard something outside or someone coming through the Ring doorbell or something.
He about to get swatted.
Oh,
Hold on, let me
help us
get him.
now.
Actually, he's going ballistic. Hold on. Continue talking.
He is
What
going
units would
nuts.
you like to see?
What's okay, guys? I'm not the biggest Godzilla fan. I'm a noob with Godzilla. What's the one with the dragon with no wings?
The dragon with no wings. Titanosaurus?
No, that's not it.
What film is he in?
It's the really quick one. It starts off with him under the water.
Oh, it looks like a
I'm
Chinese dragon.
Oh, Manda? Manda.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's the one I want. That's the one I want. I love dragons. And he's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one
You
I
want
want.
the
man.
Final Wars one. The Final Wars one.
That's
Yeah.
basically Shenlong.
Yeah, I want Manda. I want Manda in the game. Nobody ever talks about him, but that's the one I want.
Gets killed immediately in Final Wars, and then wasn't Manda? I feel like was in maybe its own movie. Or Manda was in like the Atrigan movie or something. I haven't seen it, but I think that's where he comes from. I think it's the same movie that has Gezora in it or whatever its name is, the big squid, and it has the original Gotengo.
I don't know. I think he is in a movie with a walrus. That walrus also appears like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
but
Maguma.
Wait, there's a
everyone loves it.
walrus?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maguma.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, chat says Manda is from Atrigan.
Okay.
I'll take their
You
word
know what?
for it because I haven't seen it.
I'm really curious and also frightened on what they could do with Orochi. I really want them to do Orochi, but I don't want them to do it wrong like they did with JJ73.
Does
Like, I'm
Toho?
really-
Could they even do Orochi?
I don't know. There's an icon of it, isn't it?
There is an icon of it, but that icon is from Shin Godzilla, because the plan to freeze Shin Godzilla is like the Orochi something, the Orochi plan or something like that. Because it's in the movie, it's the Higuchi plan, but I think it's renamed to the Orochi one because all the heads of the dragon are the cranes that are freezing Shin Godzilla.
I forgot about
Orochi
that.
is so not gonna happen, and it's not because I don't think he's cool. I just think that he's way too similar to Kaiser Ghidorah. I mean, obviously, yeah, he's got 8 heads.
Well, we're not
instead
getting
of
Kaiser
3.
Ghidorah either, so what's your point?
Well, no, that's true. No, actually, you know what? That's true. We will probably get Orochi instead of Monster X and Kaiser Ghidorah. That sounds like the Toho right there.
That's their MO. We're just gonna add anything else but what you voted for.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be happy.
Oh, chat says Makani Kong, or Haji says Makani Kong. That's my other one, Haji. Thank you. It's Makani Kong. I have a sticker of him and everything here. It's Makani Kong. I would love if Makani Kong was added to this game. I cannot imagine he ever gets in. But that's who I could, if I could pick one character that I know has 0% chance of getting in to put in, it would be Makani Kong.
Do you really think it's 0%?
I think there's something with the rights. I don't think they are allowed.
Ah.
I don't think Toho owns that version of Kong. I don't remember what the deal is, but because Kong Escapes is on their polls always, but I don't think they actually can use Makani Kong. I think that poll exists just to get Gorosaurus in. Makani Kong rights management. Google enter. Oh, it has a whole wiki page. Jesus.
Oh, join us for the wiki page read.
Yeah. Development of Makani Kong, design, histories in the King Kong show, Showa era.
Sounds like he could be in.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like he could be in.
It should.
I think, you know what? I think he's in Godzilla Rivals from this year. No way.
Is that a game?
It's a comic book. Shit, alright, so he
Oh.
could get in. Fuck it. Makani Kong is totally available, I guess.
Push him for the next poll, man.
Yeah, because I would say it's kind of popular in terms
Oh,
of like the
Spence?
more obscure monsters.
This is for
Mechanically, it's
this is for
very
you,
popular.
Mike Pine. I don't mean to cut you off, but Spenzilla says Toho has made a few films on Orochi. There's a movie in every series besides Millennium Era, so I don't see. So he says he doesn't see a reason why it couldn't happen, because Toho has done Orochi movies before. There you go.
I haven't seen those, but if he gets added, I really want him to be good. I don't want it like a useless unit, like what they did to the octopus. Honestly, even I don't like that they make the octopus suck, but it's just what it is.
Oh, and Lanovic says Makani Kong is Toho property. He was originally going to be in the 1991 Godzilla movie, but was replaced with King Ghidorah at the last second.
So he's got a chance. He's definitely got a chance.
He's got a chance. So you're saying there's a chance? I'm putting him down. That's my next. That's my next go-to is Godzilla 1998 or
Oh,
Makani
no,
Kong or
please.
Zone Fighter.
No, if you want to main stuff, is gonna make him suck.
Yeah.
He can suck, but he'll be in the game.
I wish I could be a fly on the wall at Toho when they had the conversation to replace Mechanicong with King Ghidorah. Like, did somebody just like, was somebody just like, hey guys, this Mechanicong thing is really stupid. Should we just put King Ghidorah in instead? And they were like, yeah, probably, yeah, we should probably
Like,
do
damn,
that.
why wasn't
This
that our
is-
first
This is a
thought?
huge mistake. This is a huge mistake. We'll say this King Ghidorah is a good guy. We'll throw him in the movie. Everyone wants to see that anyway. Cool, done. I wonder what happened to the Mechanicong suit.
Oh my god, I would kill for that. Oh, I want. We're gonna get off track. I want Makani Kong in his game so bad. I think he's hilarious. I think it's just like a funny idea.
That'd be
Yeah,
really
he's
cool.
good.
to see.
But so that is, what was that for? What units we would like to see? So I could knock that off my list because I was also gonna ask something like that as well. Here's one for you guys, and I think you all might have similar opinions or different ones depending on, how ingrained you are with Toho changing everything. I'm pretty sure we all are pretty in tune with it. But I have on this list as a question, what do you think was the biggest fumble this year from Toho? I think it's the octopus. I think they making octopus suck is a big L.
Yeah, that is a big one. That is. I mean, they didn't make it suck. They made it absolutely unplayable.
Yeah,
Which-
well, yeah, that
yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, that does. Yeah, it sucks. I mean, that it should have some kind of use. It should see some play. But I mean, they say they use the metrics to buff things.
It's bullshit.
Well, nobody plays Godzilla Octopus. He should be getting buffs every damn month.
I know. Well, he's got a low win percentage and a low he has a low loss percentage because no one plays him, so he must be really good.
Yeah, right.
Kaijume Kaiju says, or Kaijum Kaiju, I can never say their name right, says that the Godzilla Battle Line first anniversary event
Thank
this year
you.
was the biggest fumble of the year. I agree.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I
Anniversary
was going to
event.
say that.
It
Christmas.
fucking sucked. Even the Christmas event.
Yeah, sucks.
I
It
mean,
sucks.
we didn't really have a Christmas event. They didn't really hype up they hyped up like the first anniversary. They didn't hype up Christmas. They just gave us some Christmas bundles and called it a day.
And they sucked.
Yeah. All the MonsterVerse bundles they have in the store right now for Christmas are ass. I really like the Christmas bundles for Studio Mode. I just wish that they were skins and not random pieces of like snow or lights.
Oh,
I wish
that
it
skin
was a
would
skin.
be so sick. I'd spend money on that skin.
I would too. I would have dropped a tenner on it for sure.
Absolutely.
Or even better, make the landscapes available for the title screen also. And the title screen and the studio mode. We haven't had a new title screen since the black and white one. Am I wrong? Or
No, we had the black and white one was last year. And then we
was
had
for
this
Christmas?
Yeah, that was for Christmas, and then we had the snow one, and we had the Singular Point one. When Singular Point came out on Blu-ray this year, they added it in. Or when Ultima became a leader, they added it in. Because that's what I'm using right now on my screen is the red background. That came out after the black and white, I believe.
Yeah,
Honestly,
that
if you wanted,
error.
you could probably go through in my Discord, plug in the Discord, in the offer review section and scroll up, and you could probably find the order in which they come out. Because I have all the offers that ever got put into the game here.
That red background though is really awesome.
It's so sick. It's my favorite of
Yeah.
the backgrounds. But I do agree, Mike, I wish that they would let you put the studio backgrounds as your home screen, or let you use the backgrounds like the snow or the red dust in studio mode. I would really like a red dust in studio mode and some snow in it, instead of them giving us like nighttime stuff with some snowy objects. I would just like to have it all look like it's snowing, maybe. Would be nice.
Yeah, because that would really add some variety to the game. Like I always feel like we've been spoiled in the first few seasons, because if you consider in the first few seasons we saw different title backgrounds. We saw a new how do you say it? A new map with Skull Island, and
And the
since
singular
then,
point
nothing.
variations.
And singular point, which it's the same layout, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
And since then, it has been nothing.
And they took out the third forces.
Well,
I've never
honestly,
even
I don't
played
miss
Dark
those.
Forces.
I don't miss
wasn't even
those.
around for that. What? I mean, I've never even played around that. Like, how good was it? Like, how cool was that?
It was
It
pointless.
depends. Yeah, it was mostly pointless, but for what I remember, when you were a beginner in the game, the moment Godzilla Ultima came out, the first one to get Godzilla Ultima won the game. Because Godzilla Ultima at that point was super strong.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm.
Third Force was impactful at really low levels.
I wish that they at least would give it as an option to toggle on and off for friend matches. Because they're in the
bring it
game,
back.
people encounter them all the time as like a glitch. They're like, oh, I just glitched on this map and the third forces are here for some reason. So they're there.
Yeah. Speaking of friend matches, I think that my vote for the biggest fumble, and I guess technically this happened in November or December of 21, but it was expanded upon in 22, is fixed battles. The way that they did the levels all at 20, huge L, made the whole mode useless, because the balance isn't the same as ranked, so it's useless in practice.
Yeah.
It essentially just created a second meta,
new meta,
for people that don't spend money, which is fine, but the problem is that half the units, any unit that's not a 4-star, is mostly unplayable in fixed, so you're only getting half the game there. It's just such a big L. Like, what were they thinking? Just
They
set
need to
fixed
fix
at
the
max
levels.
level. Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
Set fixed at max level.
Yeah, absolutely. But even then, it's just gonna be another meta of. Well, I mean, yeah, absolutely. When it first came out, it was really cool, and it quickly evolved into exactly that. It's just like, hey, what's best at this, and then let's just run that. And it's like, what's the point now? Because it's supposed to be something where you test your units.
I would like them to maybe add an option for us to customize the levels ourselves. I think the fixed battles and the friend battles is a really good jumping off point. I just think it should be expanded upon a little bit extra. Let us toggle third forces. Let us toggle like 4 stars at what level we want, 3 stars at what level we want, and like change, like really make it like customizable, you know, to get the results that we want. Because like, you know, TS has his showcases where everything is level 20, but I bet it would make his life a lot easier if he could make things a little bit more even, you know?
Yeah, make everyone's life easier. Like, the only, like, on his videos, I only care about the 4-star interactions, because I know that when he's showcasing a new 4-star and it's fighting a 3-star, like, that's not what it's actually going to look like in ranked. Like, 4-star is going to appear way stronger than it actually is.
I agree.
You know what else would make life easier, especially for TS, since the Kiryu Kai video, deactivating evolutions in training mode. If you can just send out the final form.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's a good option as well. Deactivating evolutions or making it so you don't even need to evolve. Everything is already evolved or something like that. That would be big. That would change it up too.
You know where that mode should be stronger in All-Star battles. If there was an object that you can activate in All-Star battles, so you don't have to go through evolutions, that would be great.
Oh my god, I would be beating wave 90 constantly, but having to reset on 90 or whatever, and then my Ultima is now a Terrestrius is what fucks me 90% of the time. It's so annoying. It just All-Star Battle just comes down to levels, and you know what? It's funny that you bring up All-Star Battle, because All-Star Battle has been absent from a lot of our conversation tonight, and I think that's honestly because Toho has done nothing with All-Star Battle this year except for change the store for All-Star Battle. They've completely just put it on autopilot, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, they don't change anything with it. The rewards are whatever at this point.
I mean, the rewards are still good. There's still some good rewards there. It's a tedious mode. It's like I'm trying to play as slow as I can when normally I'm trying to win as fast as I can, and I don't know. Yeah.
It almost encourages you to slow down, but I guess it's like you're trying to grind, you're trying to get the kills and whatnot. But I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, studio mode, or not studio mode, fucking what is it called? All-Star
ASB.
Battle. Yeah, ASB needs the most improvement, I think.
It does. Let's speed it up. Let's get the most kills. Let's get let's get some zombies. Let's kill the most things. Then we get points like that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So we're talking about our biggest fumbles. Now, good or bad, right? What do you think, or at least for you guys, were the biggest surprises in Battle Line of 2022? I think the announcement of the collab units, the Japanese Hero Shin Universe or whatever units, I think that was a big surprise. I called it in February. When they announced it, I said, watch this be added to Battle Line, but I don't know because of the rights, and then it was added. I was extremely surprised about that. What were you guys, not just your opinions on that, but your biggest surprises of the year, do you think?
Can we count Mechagodzilla 21 in this?
Absolutely. I was shocked that we got Mechagodzilla 21.
He is the biggest shot. I thought we were done with legendary collabs until the new movie. I thought we were for sure done with Godzilla versus Kong. I did think that G21 and Kong were going to come back just because they put so many resources into making them that I thought they were going to have that happen. But Mechagodzilla 21 was totally left field. I'm so happy about it. He was a glaring omission from that collab. So
he was probably the #1 most requested character, period. End of story.
Yeah.
Every single video I've ever made has at least one comment, where is Mechagodzilla 21? It's like a recurring fucking nightmare for me. And now he's finally here, so it's over. On everything I've ever put, someone asked where he is. And I'm like, bro, I can't help you. I don't know.
I don't work at Toho, man.
I'm not it. People think in the comments that I do work at Toho. That's fine. I think it's hilarious. Just know if I did, this game would be better.
Giant Octopus would definitely be way better.
Oh, it would be the best. It would be first of all, it would be a leader. It would have the stats of Earth, and it would have double Biolante's range, and do what Biolante does, and ground air units, and be immune to stun, and have piercing. It would have been busted.
I would agree with King Ghidorah. I was also very surprised by Mechagodzilla 21, especially because the old Godzilla GMK thing that you all guys know. I was honestly expecting to be the January after I saw the model, and I said, "Oh yeah, for sure we're going to get GMK," because I thought there's no way they were going to reveal the model and not be the next unit. But
I agree.
I guess that's how things are.
I was like this, Mike. I watched your video where you're predicting the units, and I was like, GMK in January? That seems a little weird. And then they revealed it, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, there's no way. I was like, how the hell did he get that? And then it was Mechagodzilla, and I was like, what is going on? I was like, what is happening?
Nostradamus.
But I was like, but Toho didn't even reveal it. Like, Meta revealed it. And Toho just shared the image, and they were like, fuck it, cat's out of the bag. And so we know he exists in some capacity. I don't know how we're going to get him.
Yeah,
maybe he'll come soon, but...
They wouldn't have modeled that one just for the VR game. Like,
yeah, especially when the VR game, everything else in the images they shared and that VR game is all from Battleline. Even the diorama sets are from Studio Mode and the Tokyo maps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So...
Oh my gosh, I just realized how much of a trip that's going to be. If any of us actually get that product, like, we can go hang out in Godzilla Battleline in VR.
I don't have a Meta. Actually, funny enough, I think my mom actually has a Quest, so I might have to borrow that.
I have
a
Valve Index, so hopefully whatever it is isn't exclusive, but if it is, I'll just hack it or something.
Yeah. Shit, now I really got to see if I can get that VR headset shipped to me and be like, hey, I need this for Godzilla game. And then my stream will just be me in VR knocking all my shit over.
Does your family know you're a big Godzilla Battleline YouTuber? Like, is that a thing in your family?
I told them only when I was about to hit 1,000 subscribers. And I won't shy away from it. I was at 996, and I put my link in my family text chat, be like, hey, I've been making Godzilla videos, I'm about to hit 1,000, just everyone sub to me so I can hit 1,000.
That's awesome.
And they're like, oh, this seems like a good idea. And so now they always ask me at, like, dinners and stuff, if I see them, like, how's the YouTube going? And like, I have a lot of younger cousins, and now they all play. They're probably watching the stream tonight. A few of them have put their information in the comments that I have to go through and delete it so they don't dox themselves on accident because they're like 7. But they've accepted it. And then at work, someone called me Sir Melee at work because they know too. I told HR about it just in case anything happens. I was like, just wanting to let you know, like, this is what I'm doing on the side. And then like one of my coworkers mentioned it to me the other day, and I was like, all right. I was like, this is my life now. I was like,
you're too famous for your own good, man.
I was like, damn, what if I get noticed at a grocery store or something, and then I remember I have less than 4,000 subs. So I'm like, that's not gonna happen. But I'm very grateful for everyone that does watch and sticks around and everything like that. So I am very appreciative of it. I just think it's funny that this is now my legacy is getting Giant Octopus in this game.
I mean, it's the gameplay, it's the videos, dude. I mean, it's I had no audio for the last week, and I finally got audio again. And the first thing I did was watch your videos.
That's what we love to see. We love it. Spencer says he's calling me by my first name if he ever sees me in person. There's a few people in the Discord that found out my first name. I was on another person's Twitch stream months and months and months ago, and they called me by my first name, and I shared the link in the Discord to get people in. And so he said my first name. I was like, whatever, and then I deleted the link after. There's like a select few that actually know, but I think it's pretty funny. But yeah, my biggest surprise at GBL this year was getting called that at work. Getting called Sir Melee at work.
Hey, that's cheating.
All right.
Raiju chat says, or I'm pretty sure it's Chef. He says, imagine having a rough day at work and someone walks up to you asking how to schedule an expedition. Like my family always, like, if they're playing the games, like my cousins or my brother, they'll like hit me up and like, I've been out of the game for a little bit, like, what's a good strat? And I'm like, man, I'm off the clock. Put it in my comments or the Discord or something.
Go watch this video, bro.
Bro, get me a view. Give me like the 2.5 cents or whatever it is per ad. Like, chill out. Don't come to my DMs with this.
Hey, that's a lot of money in Chile.
Exactly. It all. Listen, I was like, I could charge you to text me, or you could watch my video. I was like, take your pick. This is not free. I'm after the bag. Are you kidding me? By any means necessary. So that was for the biggest surprises of the year. Also, welcome back, Administration 1 and Alex and Nee is here, so we're loaded now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to come join in. I saw you were streaming on YouTube. I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot about this.
Yeah, we thought you were playing in the game because there was some like melee sack or something like that, and then we were like, oh, it's probably Knee, and then they came back into another match that like that name like is not Knee, was their name or something like that.
I love your attack.
Yeah, you're correct.
I saw someone earlier today. Their name was like Nuts on Your Chin or some shit like that. I was like, bro, these usernames on freaking Battleline are getting insane, dude.
My brother's name on Snap is Ash Hull, ASH space HULL, and he's trying to hit Infinite this season at Snap because the title you get for hitting Infinite is I'm so dirty or something like that, or dirty dirty. So he's trying to be dirty Ash Hull or something.
Bro.
I think I went against that player, honestly, in Snap.
Listen, you might have. He's running a dinosaur deck.
I probably lost.
So my next question was, now that there's more people in here. So that was our biggest surprise of 2020. We kind of went over this a little bit when we talked about best nerfs and buffs for the awards. But what do you guys think the unit with the most improvement over the year is? Like the most I think it's Burning Godzilla.
Yeah, Burning all the way.
I think it's Burning Godzilla 100%. There's been a few really good changes, like Leo getting changed has been pretty good. I think overall Burning is probably the best.
And it's everywhere, but Fire Redan too. I mean, Fire Redan. Nobody played Fire Redan before.
That's true. No one. He was. If you ask most players, unplayable. If you ask King Ghidorah, very playable. If you're not stupid.
I'm stupid then. I'm stupid. I'm big stupid then.
Yeah, I'm a moron apparently.
But
I'm playing.
Before both of those bumps, you did not see Burning Godzilla. You did not see Fire Redan. I mean, you just didn't see him.
That's just true. People in the chat, or Mason in the chat says Batra. I'm not listening to anything Mason says.
I'm tired of seeing that little shit running around, bro. I'm tired of Batra.
Yeah, I'm using Batra constantly. I'm like scum of the earth. I'm like, I will be securing a win by any means necessary. I will use Batra. I just will not trains you or Kiryu you for the final hit. I have more honor than that, but any other means.
Don't hate on the Kiryu for the final hit, bro. Don't hate on that, bro.
I will most certainly hate on it. I am valid on hating on it. Getting my 500 Kong wins in like 3 or 4 days was a bitch because of people just dropping Kiryu on me.
Yeah.
Oh, Goji Fen says Toho's gonna keep buffing Shin Godzilla until he works.
I mean, Shin Godzilla's he's good. He needs a little bit more speed.
Man, if they just only make him do that AoE attack, dude, he is golden. Only the AoE attack.
Mm-hmm. It's such a good AoE too. It is so
I
good,
know.
and it sucks that it's locked behind only. When he came out, we were like, "Oh, this would be really good for air units," and then he just like is always targeting fucking ground units.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Toho says that we're just bad at the game. We don't know what we're talking about. And then they buff him like every season since, and Destroya.
Yeah.
I think Toho was thinking like, oh yeah, everybody's running a flying deck, so let's go ahead and just make him have an AoE attack just for shits and giggles. But you know, after that, people are more running ground units than fucking aerial units, so it's like, bro.
Yeah, anything touching the floor immediately shuts down Shin Godzilla, which is unfortunate.
Oh god.
You'd imagine their poster child Godzilla would be usable in some capacity.
If I can give a completely pedantic answer to most improved units, I would say Godzilla 21 and Kong, simply for the ability to level them up again.
That works.
There you go. And that's cool. Yeah, it's cool. We're gonna see him more.
I hope that they take on a life of their own and someone finds a way to really get the most value out of them. I know a lot of players are getting a lot out of G21, and a lot of people are getting a lot out of the leaders. I just wish Kong one day has his time to shine, whether that's he gets a energy decrease or some kind of buff. I love Kong. He's my favorite of the 3 in this game, and because he's just like G89 but slightly worse, and he could be up there with the greats, I feel. He's a good leader. A lot of people haven't used him. A lot of regular like players who are not like playing like higher levels aren't using Kong as a leader either, and they definitely should if they're not, because he's really good. Especially right now, you can rent him at 10. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, Comics did his run with Kong, and I mean, Kong might be just untapped potential.
I agree. Kong is one of my favorite leaders in the entire game because he's like just can boost you just enough to make anything decent.
So, in a rare moment of admitting that I don't have an opinion on something, I don't use Kong, and I never have, just because he's always been low level. So, can you guys explain to me why you think Kong is good?
I think Kong is good for general play, not for a specific niche strategy or anything. For general play, if you're a new player and you're looking for a new leader to use that's not G89, I think G89 obviously is meta. I don't think Kong is meta. I think he could be. I think Kong is a good leader because he gives a 20% damage buff to anything 4 energy or higher. Anything 4 energy or higher. I'm sorry, not effects. And I think it's just the most versatile. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just think it's the most versatile leader ability because it covers such a wide breadth of characters. Do I think it's the best leader ability? I think, Ava Unit 1's ability is really good. I think Kiryu's is probably one of, if not the best. G89's is also very powerful. But I just think for general play, run-of-the-mill decks, if you're a new player this season and you just unlock Kong and he's rentable at level 10, I think he's a good leader because he will buff like Anguirus, Hedera, Caesar gets a buff from him, like things that you normally wouldn't be able to touch with like a G89 buff. You can, but it's only at 20%. So while lower than G89, it's still giving it 20% to more characters than G89 possibly can.
And plus, it's monkey, bro. You got to run the monkey.
Plus, it's a giant monkey.
Yeah,
exactly. He's got so much health. He does have a lot of health. Like, the dude's thick. I mean, he's thick.
Mm-hmm.
As a unit, he's thick. I mean, on the board, he's a beast sometimes.
Thick monkey.
If I could give my 2 cents, I don't think Kong is a good unit anymore. I just think it's outclassed in everything that he's going for. For instance, as a tank,
as a leader or a unit? We were talking about him as a leader, sorry.
As a leader, I agree with almost everything you said, because you have to also consider in terms of the attack boost, it's the cheapest attack boost, and it's nothing to spend 1 energy to give the boost. And yes, as you said, you can give the boost to many cheaper units and also faster units. For instance, how much is it a struggle to send out a King Caesar to the other leader? It's nothing. For instance, for me, Kong is a better leader than Destroya in that aspect, because it boosts almost everything that Destroya does, and for less cost.
And boosts more units than Destroya. Oh, my phone's not on mute. Oh, Snap, guys. The shops just updated in Snap. But Destroya has a really good ability, but it only affects close range units, which is fine. And it goes in line with what I said earlier in the stream, where like there's a lot of characters that are just a few or like one other character comboing away from it being really good, and that's Destroya. Destroya can boost the close range units, and until we get a like meta defining close range unit, Destroya will just be okay. Same with G21.
Yeah.
And I thought that Mechagodzilla 21 would be like the pinnacle close range fighter. It's just really difficult to use him. But I think like with Destroya giving him a damage boost, those missiles are going to be fucking crazy.
Wait, Destroya buffs Mechagodzilla 21? I don't pay attention. I haven't paid attention this month.
That's fine. Destroya boosts the close range units. Mechagodzilla is a close range unit, not a medium range unit like Anguirus or G89. Mechagodzilla 21 is a close range unit.
Close.
Gotcha. No, he's not. Anguirus is medium.
Yes. No, Anguirus is close. I tested when I did the video.
Are you
when I did the
sure?
review.
I feel like I saw that he was... Anguirus is close? I thought he was medium.
No, he's close.
He's got to be close.
Anguirus is a medium unit. We tested him and he did not get the buff. Me and
Anguirus didn't get the buff?
Yep, nope, it did not.
I'm telling you, Anguirus is medium.
Medium. It did not.
The close range units are the Kamacuras, Swarm, and regular Kamacuras, Gigan, Final Wars and Gaigan 72, Mecha Godzilla. The Dorats, I think, are close, and the flying one, that's the big bug. Mega Gearus is also close.
Melee, what is your top 5 leaders out of curiosity?
Rodan.
Go watch the tier list.
Oh,
No. The top. I think the best
Give me
3
watch
leaders. Yeah, exactly. I think the best 3 leaders are G89, Kiryu, and Eva, not in any particular order.
Respectable.
I think they're really good. I think Kong is a close 4th. I think Kong is a really close 4th.
But what about
Just 'cause he's really
Mothra?
versatile.
Mothra is so dirty.
I think Mothra's pretty good. I don't think Mothra's one of the best, but I think Mothra is pretty good. I think if you're trying to run a specific strategy like Pan's Earth, like, then it's like there's nothing better than Mothra. But I think just in terms of just general play, I don't think Mothra is one of the best. But for like Mothra, like we talked about earlier, there are characters that if you weigh them on their own, not very good. But if you put them with a specific strategy, there's no one that does it better. Mothra doesn't. I mean, no one else heals the way Mothra heals, right? So
60%.
Exactly.
60% for 10 seconds. That's so crazy.
I think Mothra is really good for like if you're running like a high health deck.
And ground-based units that can hit, air and girth, obviously, and yeah, Mothra is. But you don't need the girth. Mothra is just it's a great leader.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
It used to be better. Back in the day, it was broken.
Yeah, I didn't play back in the day.
So you didn't play back then, but have you seen like my older videos about it at all?
I don't think I have.
Mothra in the 2nd season of Battle Line. So something I guess happened where Mothra's original leader ability read a 10% health increase, and instead of 10%, it was doing it like by 1,000%.
What the
so
fuck, bro?
when you placed the whole meta, there was 2 decks you were playing in season 2 of Battle Line. One deck was you played Mothra leader with G89 and the Kamakuris, and you escorted or Anguirus, and you escorted G89 across the field, hit that ultimate ability, and killed them. Or you were using Mogera and you were sniping Mothra as fast and the missiles and the trains as fast as possible before they activated the ability, and that's why Toho nerfed Mothra's leader ability. And there was some other change that came about because of it too. I don't remember.
Yeah, can you
But
imagine
that
if you ran ahead and ran that deck?
that totally like fucked up everything back then. It was hilarious. It was insane.
I would be terrified if I saw like fucking Girth running down the field and then get that 1,000% tile increase boost, bro. That would be scary as hell, dude.
Hold on, we have questions in the chat. Godzilla says thank you for answering all of his questions. We're all great. And he says, which game will you be playing 1 year from now? Snap or GBL? Answering both, if not an option. I will say both. I think Snap is going to be around for a really long time, and GBL has already shown that it has some kind of staying power, so I'll play both until they stop playing. Or until they stop getting updated.
I'm playing both. GBL is it's some of the best PvP. Snap is fun. Snap is great. Snap is cool. Whatever. GBL is some of the best on phone, on mobile. What better PvP you're gonna find? It's a really good PvP game.
Yeah, I agree. So I'll play both until they stop being updated, and then Jaden Blaine asked, "What do you guys think of Mechagodzilla 21, Kong, and G21?" And what is the most meta character? So maybe they're a newer player, but we talked about this a lot during the stream already. I think we've already talked extensively about Kong. Someone is actually using Kong against me right now, but and probably the most meta unit I think we all think are probably like what Batra, Leo, Ultraman to some capacity, maybe a little less these days.
Leo's definitely the best metal unit. There's no doubt.
Oh, Jaden actually has a really good one too. Jaden asks if you could remove any unit from the game or any unit from the meta, which would it be?
Batra.
Batra?
It's always Batra. Batra's whatever, man.
Immediate Batra.
Bad repairs with like
Um,
another unit. It buffs like one unit. The buff goes away. I mean, I don't know.
I probably should think about it, but my initial like gut answer is Ultraman.
Okay, that's still valid.
And I know I said Ultraman was mid earlier, and it's not because I think he's mega strong. I think he's probably fine, but it's because he just annoys me. He's just another unit that I gotta deal with that can snipe me from out of range, and it's gonna take him 10 minutes to kill me. But like, I just
You gotta get to him.
I could do it without Ultraman.
I got two.
Okay.
Jet Jaguar 73. I hate the character model. That's the only reason why.
You just remove him from the game.
Just remove. He doesn't need to be in this game. He's so useless. He is just so useless. And then trains. Get rid of trains.
I think Jet Jaguar 73 is one of the best models, I'm not gonna lie. I like how vibrant it is.
It's so cringe.
What's removed from the meta game? Jet Jaguar is not even close to being meta.
I think he just wants him gone,
bro.
period.
It's just ugly, bro. It
is meta if you're knee.
Literally, bro, I don't run anything meta. The only thing I run meta is probably PC and Kiryu. That's it.
I would I kind of like what's happening this month too, and that is like a month without trains, because
Yeah, I like that a lot too.
Hopefully we spend some time playing with facilities and seeing if, our hypothesis that facilities are unplayable because of trains is true, because right now trains literally has a 50% nerf. So if a 50% nerf to trains doesn't make the facilities playable, then wow,
I think that the facilities are playable. Obviously, trains stops them from being usable. But I think the facilities are playable. I think it's the units that the facilities produce need to be changed. I think the facilities are fine. I think that the units that they make need to be changed up.
Yeah, Mba base is freaking cool. Mba base is cool.
Mba base really makes me think about what I'm doing sometimes, because I'm like,
if you could build them up, if you get that little army of stunners, it's pretty cool.
Exactly. But then you have like Ultraman, who can't be stunned and has piercing and just shuts down the stunners.
Yeah, well then you DT the Ultraman into something. I mean, there's always counterplay. There's always this
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But the Mba base is, the Mba base should be played more, and I'm not seeing it. The trains is gone. I'm still not seeing it.
I think people are too scared to use it.
But I
See a
thought
lot
about
of EBR running around.
that through a girth, and then he had the stupid M-bot base right behind him, and I was thinking about it going, that's not a bad play.
I've tried it. It's yeah, and then Hedora.
It is if you got with trains.
Yeah, and when trains is working, it's not going to work. And yeah, it's just I've tried it, man. Mba base with Girth is actually amazing when they can't counter it. But everything's amazing if you can't counter it.
Yeah.
I bet
Very
they're not
insightful.
gonna fix the trains. They ain't gonna fix the trains.
Look, I just got beat by a Kong leader. There you go.
Kong leader for the win. That's
I'm
Kong
telling you,
leader
Kong
meta.
leader is so good.
Kong leader meta. You got monkeyed.
I don't think they're gonna fix trains.
I don't think so.
Really?
I pray every night before I go to bed that they just delete the trains, honestly. I would remove the trains completely from the game if given the option.
I bet you most train players are sitting there like thinking of that Wolverine meme where he's like sitting there holding the little freaking picture frame and thinking about the trains,
Yeah,
all the
that's,
people that use trains.
that's definitely never going to be me. I will never be missing the trains.
Once they fix trains, I'm scared.
See you later, Mike Pine. Everyone in the chat, if you're not already subscribed to Mike Pine, go subscribe to Mike Pine. He also makes Godzilla Battle Line content.
Mike Pine makes great
thank
videos.
you.
Mike
Thank
is
you
the
for
Legend
the
27, bro. Mike's Legend 27.
Legend 27. He's that guy.
What? What's that?
What's wrong with trains, chat? Trains is broken right now. It's only doing 50% of the damage it should be doing. Another Kong leader. Look at that.
A monkey for the win.
More monkey leaders. I
You
love
know what?
Kong.
What I was going to say about the trains is honestly, I don't care if they fix them or not. I can adjust to the metagame. Like for instance, I am now running the energy base, so I don't care if the trains get fixed. But the thing is, if they are not intending to fix it, I don't think they would have announced it in the newsletter.
Oh, TS
because
joined the chat. Sorry to cut you off,
Yes.
Mike. I didn't mean to. What's up, TS?
Oh yeah, he joined a while ago.
Oh, I had no idea. Continue your thought. I'm sorry, Mike.
Oh no, that was it. I thought that if Toho has no intention of fixing the trains, I don't think they would have announced that that is a bug. So I think they're going to fix them, but I don't know. Maybe they will listen to the audience and not do so. Who knows?
It means you trust them.
I
think
trust
they'll be
them in
honest
nothing.
about it. Because
No, actually, I don't.
I think that they haven't made such a drastic 50% damage change ever before, and so they're kind of softballing it to it as a bug, and depending on how we react is whether or not they'll fix it.
I
There's
think that's a
no
pretty
way
good
they
theory.
think that much. They don't think that much. When do they ever do that?
Period. There's
I'm
no way
just
they think that
saying,
much.
right?
Or giving them too much credit.
Yeah, I think you're giving too much credit. Just a little bit.
You know
Sorry.
what? You know what? As a final thought, if they never fix the trains, I'm just glad I got to make that video that I did for them. It's a Viking. It's a
Viking
Viking.
funeral.
How do you say?
Yeah, I
it's a
remember
Viking
that.
funeral for the train. I'm glad I put up that video out before
funny
it was.
The trains
Oh,
are the
thank
units that'll forever live in infamy. I also switched to Kong leader.
Monkey for the win.
But yeah, shout out Mike Pine. Thank you for stopping by.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Oh, chat wants TS to rant for them
Oh God.
about his thoughts on the game.
Here we go.
Yes, do it. TS Rants are legendary, dude. It's legendary. Please, TS, come on, let's get some
Yeah.
rants.
TS, tell us about how you taught all of the whales how to play, and how you're so mad that they can beat you now because all of the credit to the whales being good goes to you. Tell us about that.
Can you tell us your rant about Administration 1? How about that?
I think I taught all the whales how to play. I'm definitely in the top percentile of players. Everyone quits to me. I can never actually play a fucking match in my spare time. I think that makes me the best.
Yeah,
But I'm going to be very
totally
humble
does.
about
It
it.
totally does.
Just changed his sleep schedule so he wouldn't have to face me.
Fuck.
Is he listening to us?
I mean, it says he's here and his mic is muted and he's deafened, so maybe not, but he's here at least, so we might say
He's
something
laughing.
sometime. Yeah, chat even says everyone's trying to talk to TS and he's deafened.
TS, if you can hear me, unmute your mic.
I don't blame you. I don't know how to use
he's
Discord.
undeafened. He's undeafened now. He heard you. He's coming for your ass.
He's preparing. He had to write down the paper he's gonna rant about, bro. That's what he's really doing.
I'm just trying to fix my mic because I think it's effed up. Do I sound good?
You
sound
good.
great,
No.
dude.
Perfect.
No.
No, you're
Do I
not.
sound beautiful?
Chat says TS if you
No.
can't hear me
No,
talk.
fine.
TS sounds beautiful.
I didn't hear it till you guys said I was coming back. I don't know who's talking shit, but I'll read the chat.
Chat
logs.
wants,
we were all
chat wants
talking
you to
shit.
rant. Chat wants you to rant.
Oh, that's great.
Because we've been going through a lot of questions about. I prepared questions for the night. We went over like the 2020 like awards they did in the Discord. So I have a lot of questions, or I have asked a lot of questions.
Okay.
So what was our latest one? Chat asked us if we
Latest
could remove a unit from the meta, or from the game. Which would it be? And Nee wants to remove Jet Jaguar 73 completely from the game.
The one
Yeah,
unit
Dude,
that
Mothra
we
Leo
played.
is disgusting.
Mothra Leo, yeah.
Mothra Leo is a disgusting unit. It's disgusting. I can't deal with that thing. I think it's honestly like just flashbacks to a horrible, like the worst period in my life was I think when Mothra Leo got buffed for the second time.
I think it could be
I'm
buffed for a
pretty
third
content
time.
with
I
saying
think
that.
would be great.
I think Mothra Leo.
I
is
think
such
I'd
a
lose my mind. I'm not gonna
cornerstone
lie.
of the game. I think Mothra Leo is such a cornerstone of the game that if we just plucked Mothra Leo from the game, it would completely disrupt the balance of the entire game.
Well, I think Basher
Yeah.
would take over for sure.
I think King Ghidorah would take over, honestly, if Leo gets
Oh
removed.
my god, you ain't lying, dude. As soon as you see Ghidorah, you just send Leo, and it's like, I win.
It's just, yeah, deleted. Goodbye. See you later. Leo with Batra, I'm just like, whatever's in front of me, I'm like, goodbye, deleted.
Yeah, you see Girth, Desghidorah, or you see Mecha King Ghidorah. You just send Leo, and that's it. 5 for 7.
Come on with that Girth shit, though,
Man,
man. Come on. I
just
mean,
send
you send against Girth. Yeah, all you gotta do is cast that Space Godzilla. You can put the bio in front. Just, I mean, mitigate with Girth, man.
Man, just send a Brain Godzilla after your King Ghidorah, bro. You'll be good.
So I'm trying to go through my questions to see what I can
Leo
ask
is-
next. I have a few. Oh, I got one. All right, so we've already talked about like what units and stuff we would change and stuff like that. So my next question was for what? No, I already asked this one. Best change. Oh no, I didn't ask this one. What was the best change of the year? Like, or a change to like a gameplay feature or a mechanic or something or a buff or whatever. What do you think was like the thing this year that was like the best to you? Like G materials, could be G materials, it could be like whatever. What do you think was like the overall the best change this year? And then what next year would, or what this year? What would you hope this year gets added to the game? Like I want clans to be added to this game, and I think the G material is probably the best thing to come to the game this year.
Clans would be awesome. Clans would be
Is this
great.
question?
It's just an open table.
It's just an open.
Yeah, clans would be cool. I think for last year, the coolest thing they did was when they gave us back a bunch of pieces. I think that's huge for newer players or people wanting to join. Just not only because it allows you to get those levels quicker, it's just it feels better to level up things more often and to have more pieces. And I think it was just a great choice that they made because it did take a lot. Like we would talk about how long it would take to hit level 30.
And we've seen so many new players playing, right? Like we all play so much, and like there's so many new players playing. After that level change, there's been so many new names. Like that probably is. Yeah, that's crazy. It's a great change.
I agree. There's just so many more players that I fight now that like 3 months ago I never saw, and now that they can, now that it takes 1 point to go from level 1 through, like, not 1 to go from 1 to 15, but every level from 1 to 15 is only 1 G material. I'm seeing way more people with way more diverse decks than I ever had prior. Even though there's still obviously, people running around with Batra and Leo and stuff like that in their deck, they're also using cards like, I saw a Zayton the other day, or they're using like Mephilas. Like everything is cheaper to upgrade, right? So it's opening up a lot more decks, and the more characters that come out with interesting abilities, the more that are going to get used. Like Mecha Godzilla can now ground the units. So even though he's not good himself as a leader, that ability is really good. And the next time a unit comes out with that debuff, I think, and it's going to be cheaper to upgrade them. I think that's going to open up a whole new bunch of possibilities as well.
Yeah, but I feel like I got ripped off, to be honest with you.
Yeah, some of us are going to feel that way. But for the newer players, I think it was really good.
Yeah, I think for everyone that wasn't us, it was probably a really good change. But for a lot of people in this chat, it probably fucked us.
Yeah,
because time I got all my pieces, I'm like, really? I could only get a level and a half? You got to be out of your mind.
Quit wailing so hard, bro.
For future units too, it's gonna help. Like with Mechagodzilla 2021, and I'm sure you guys have felt that with whatever last unit we just got. That it's a lot easier to get them closer to those higher levels.
Yeah, the last unit we got that was new before Mechagodzilla was Unit 1 and the 4th Angel. Because we didn't get a new unit for December.
Oh yeah, 4th Angel. Perfect example. That guy's crazy. That guy's so strong when you use him. I hate that unit. It is so ridiculously strong. But
I
it does
literally
look cool,
have that.
and
what unit do you like? That's what we all want to know. What do
you like?
Unit's disgusting.
He ate
oh my
that,
god! I'm just playing that disgusting fucking unit again. Oh my god! Kill me! Kill me right now! Oh yeah! Oh good motherfucker! Buff motherfucker! Oh there I go again. He's disgusting.
Exactly. I think I respect I want to go with helicopters. If I lose to that, I'll respect that.
Valid. I mean,
anything
that boat was
over
stealth
like
bomber.
C tier above,
Giant
it's
octopus.
disgusting.
Giant octopus, the Jaguar.
Yeah.
If
you can
someone
beat me
beat
with
me with giant octopus, I would give them my count.
That's
Alright,
pretty
you
much.
can hold that promise,
Don't
Melee.
tempt fate.
You can hold it, bro.
Don't
Hold that
tempt
promise,
fate.
bro.
Don't tempt
you say?
fate, Melee.
Yeah.
I said you better hold that promise, Melee. You said you're gonna give your count. I'll beat you with GL, bro. I'll beat you with giant octopus.
I've already been beaten with stealth bomber, so I'm not gonna say that for the bomber. Which I listen, controversial opinion. I think stealth bomber, in the right hands, is the most deadly weapon in this game. No one expects it. No one expects the stealth bomber, but you pull it off and you give it a buff.
You know,
it's crazy. You don't expect
Japanese
it.
guy got me with a stealth bomber today where he freaking threw Kiryu, Mogura, and he had the freaking stealth bomber go on to the side. And it was covered with, it just got me because it doesn't attack the stealth bomber. It goes for Mogura or Kiryu, and that stealth bomber just shits on you. It's disgusting.
Hence the word stealth bomber. Hence the word stealth bomber. Just saying.
They should. Oh, I got it. For one of my questions, what would I buff or whatever, or change a unit? I would actually give the stealth bomber stealth, like Naranga, and make it completely invisible until it gets to the enemy leader, and then it shows up. What is this? What is this username just showed up? As Pussy uses desk.
They should do it just like Naranga. They should make him invisible like Naranga. They can do it. And
I know,
he should be
they
like
have
that.
the technology.
Twilight Mexicans started that pussies use trend.
That was him who started it?
Yeah, he went to pussies use energy, and he drops energy base first every game.
No, he was mocking.
There's someone else, right? This Pussy uses heal or something?
Yeah, it's pussies use heals. I'm pretty sure it was around for a while.
Oh, there's a lot
That guy was
around
a
the
keeper.
healing.
Yeah, that guy, I used to always drop PC on his leader at the beginning of the game.
That's what I do. I put him on his leader the entire game, and like as like a show of like I'm kind of cheesing, but like I'm not using it on myself. And then at the very end of the match, I'll use it on my units, and he just gives up. Like, shout out to him though, the absolute legend that everyone knows. I think it's hilarious.
Pussies use heals is freaking amazing.
Yeah, my
It's
favorite
such a
thing.
funny
My
bit.
favorite thing about that guy is that like he calls himself heals equals pussy, and then he runs Kiryu, he runs Mogira, he runs trains, he runs like all
Right.
the stuff that you want to use heals against, and it's just like, dude, like you can't just be like you can't
Like it feels
run-
like he doesn't even care that heals are OP. He cares about winning and that he wants his cheap spam deck to work. That's the funniest part to me. Kiryu
I
is
wish
immense
this-
this season though, especially with Train Bomb down. That's
Oh
really
yeah,
good.
absolutely.
I'm using Kiryu pretty much exclusively to take down the energy bases instead of the trains this season.
Yeah, it helps too
You
because he
use Kiryu
gets
to drop it on your
evolutions
leader.
now. So
Hey,
Bro, I'm
Kiryu's
not
just so
dropping
good.
him
Kai
on
do be
leader.
putting
I got
work.
more honor than that. I like regular Kiryu more than I like Kiryu Kai. If I could
Bro.
just stop Kiryu from evolving and just make him Kiryu, or just keep him Kiryu forever, that would be ideal.
I'm in the same boat, bro. I hate Kiryu Kai.
That
Get
is-
there.
I think I'm just bad at
Really?
the game, maybe. Where I can't figure out, like, I much prefer the missiles with the AoE than the single target.
Okay, dude.
The single target's not very good at all.
No, stop it, you guys. You guys. The single target is Ultraman range. The entire point of it is you drop it to hit an enemy leader from Ultraman range. It's
From
amazing.
outer range.
No, I just want to use Ultraman.
Yeah.
And Kiryu
From
with the
outer range.
missiles.
Kiryu
I
goes
think-
outer range.
Dude, if
That's
I'm
what
using Kiryu Kai, I'm
The thing
dropping
I
him
like
behind
about-
your leader to use the missiles. That's the only reason why.
That's wrong. Well, then you're
I like Kai because his missile
You're bad.
explosion is bigger.
I know, Casey, I know I'm bad. Don't even
We're
come
all
out
bad.
like that, bro.
Why
Toho
would you-
Toho
why
knows
would you
we're all
want-
bad.
Look, it I don't really think that it's debatable that range is the best thing in the game, right?
That's
Best
not
stat in the
debatable.
game.
No,
Best stat in the
Range
game,
is
definitely
range.
best stat. That's definitely
Okay.
best stat.
Kiryu Kai is one of 4 or 5 units that can shoot an enemy leader and not get shot back.
I refuse to believe it.
It is godly, and
I've seen it. It sucks.
yeah, so you definitely you play Kiryu Kai all the way off to the side. You waste your railgun. You play him off to the side, and you let him walk into sniping range and just be a problem. That's how you play Kiryu-Kai. He's godly. So good. One of the best.
I mean,
units
I'm
in the
getting dubs with him for sure, but I like having. I think something in my brain when I see the missiles do splash damage, I'm like, haha, yes, extra damage.
No, he is right. If you stick Kiryu right in the freaking corner, he just sits there and he just lands those freaking missiles, and your guy is just sitting there going, "What the hell is this shit?" And you just throw Leo at the side, and it kills even the Karma. So it is a good play.
Pain in the fucking ass.
I
think
also
the AoE is bigger though. I don't know if that's confirmed, but
on the
I think
Kai
it
or
is
the
a bit
regular.
bigger than normal Kiryu. Yeah, Kai's AoE is bigger. I think it's
And
more
not-
like Hedora than Kiryu's.
Interesting. I haven't checked
Because
myself.
I do
And
notice it
it's
takes
instant.
out Kamakur's more. And yeah, the instant damage that you get from his deploy over the missiles from normal Kiryu is pretty huge in certain situations. Because it's
Bailey's about to
literally...
do it.
instant.
Bailey's about to do it. Bailey's doing
wow.
it. You know
Are you-
what?
are-
Do
are-
it.
are
I
you
was
about
just
to-
doing it.
Oh!
No.
So there is exactly 2 counters for that strategy, and it's Desgadora and Geigen 04. So
There it
you, I
was.
guess. But like normally that would have worked great.
Yeah. Got shut down.
I'm trying to eke this victory out, bro. This is the closest
Get
one. I'm
it.
like, oh, this guy can just fuck
Get
me.
it.
That was a good one.
Oh! Oh!
That was the best one all night. For
Melee,
sure.
you
I
want
was
the
not
smoke?
even in your guys' conversation. I was like trying not to get the smoke from this guy.
Melee, you want the smoke, bro?
Don't touch
Uh-oh.
me.
Uh-oh.
Hey, put your code in the chat in the high level strategy one.
And by the way,
let me open up my battle
you don't have to play Kiryu-Kai in the back corner. You can also just play him right in front at
I
sniper.
usually play him sometimes.
Really?
if
Right
I
in
do, like, a
front?
push.
Right in front of the leader?
No, not right in front of the leader. You play him at sniper range in front of the leader. I'm just saying it doesn't have to be behind the leader where he can deploy defense. You can deploy Kiryu-Kai midfield right at sniper range.
Oh, wow.
And he'll just snipe. It's great. It's amazing.
Hey, you guys.
Yeah, Kai definitely has a lot more utility than normal Kiryu. I think it also kind of screws Mogira for this season because I just feel like because Trains is not usable, Mogira is worse because Kiryu is so much more reliable, and you really don't ever want to run Kiryu and Mog. That's kind of just not a good strategy for guys like us. So I feel like Kiryu's kind of just
I don't know about that.
caving his way in there of being the dude over Mogira now.
I think Kiryu and Mogira being in the same deck is not a terrible strategy, but it's one that like has now existed for over a year where you almost expect it, so you know like exactly how to like deal with it. Like when you see a Geigen leader and you're like, they're gonna just shove a G89 in my ass, like, you know,
Right up in there.
all the way.
This is, all right, this is quotable. Shove a G89 up my ass.
I would like to know what.
I love the
what
players that
unit-
just shut their brains off and just throw G89 out. It's my favorite. I love those
Like-
guys.
Dude, I hate
what
that
unit
shit.
you guys
G9
think
fucks
of
starts
it?
up.
That is legitimately a viable strategy now with Mecha Godzilla leader. Like
This is true.
You could just do that, and if they dare counter him with an air unit, welp, it's getting slapped.
G89 sweep. It's his time. It's finally back.
G9's getting his revenge against some flying units.
But I had another question. So there's actually a lot more people here now. We kind of covered this earlier, but I'll ask it again. And it is, what units would you hope to see come next year? I know we talked about Manda earlier. I said G98 and Zone Fighter and Makani Kong. But for those of you who weren't here earlier, do you have anyone that you would like to see?
Man, fuck Zilla, bro.
Alright, I'm actually removing you from this call.
I like Zilla, but I don't like Godzilla 98. He has to be called Zilla, and then I'll love him.
I'm also
That's just
removing you from the
my-
call.
Deleted.
Nee, your game doesn't work.
I just think of him as a
Oh,
cool
damn,
individual
bro.
monster.
I'll send it back to you.
I don't
We're
know.
not about to do the back end of this stream as a debate between is Zilla Godzilla or not. I'm not gonna have it tonight.
Took the god out of
Manda's
Godzilla,
cool,
bro.
though.
Shin is
I'd
not.
love to
Shin
see
is
any
Godzilla
Manda.
in name only.
Dude, what is
Shout
wrong
out to
with
Shin
98?
is shout out to Shin is Gino, the player.
Yeah, I haven't played that person in a year, and I think I've matched with them 100+ times in said year. But
yeah, right.
um,
He's the master at just canceling matches.
yeah, and he always sends me to the title screen. It's great. Shin is Gino. You guys are right.
Shin is
But
Gino.
Baragon is my obvious choice for monster. I want. That's the dude, man.
So
Baragon.
I'm not
Varen and
Baron
Gamma.
also.
I'm not even that
Baron would
bothered
be
by
amazing.
Shin is Gino sending us to the title screen. My issue is that, like, why does that guy care so much about whether or not Shin is, like, a legit Godzilla? Like, enough to the point where he names himself that in the game? Like, why is that message that important to him? Like,
I think it's important that it gets across.
All he wants people to know about him is that he doesn't like Shin. That's it. Like, it's just, okay, man. I hope that you find some happiness in your life. Goodness.
What is happiness?
Not
Happiness,
Godzilla, apparently.
happiness is taking Girth down the field and just wrecking with it. That's happiness.
Only you can do that. I'm sorry.
Oh, I didn't even see your fucking what's his name over here. No, I'm not even gonna try. Put him right
Has
here.
anybody said they wanted Varen?
Oh, in the chat, people are wanting Varen. Yeah, in the chat. I also would like Varen. I heard that we were supposed to get him in November. Credible source said it, and then it wasn't the November. So I'm not sure if he's coming to the game or not yet. But that Bandai Movie Monsters vinyl is coming out. I don't know if it is already out, but maybe the month that actually becomes available for purchase, he'll be added.
Oh, and Gamma is another unit I would like to see come to the game. I think it'll
Gamera
be
is
cool.
never coming to this game.
No, never say never.
If it is, I think this year's is its best chance, only because of the Netflix anime. Yeah, but if it doesn't happen this year, yeah, no chance.
I don't think he's coming, period. I don't think there's going to be Gamera. Knee. Do you just give up live on stream, bro? That's in 4K. That's in 4K. We got you.
Hey,
we got you forfeiting the match in 4K.
That's better than just giving you the 30 seconds. That is P. that is P behavior. I'm not going to say the word, but that is P behavior.
Nee is a gentleman.
He
loses with grace.
Exactly. Some of my questions for the 2023, I'm realizing, are a little repetitive now that we've gone through like chat and answer chat's questions. They've kind of asked a lot of the similar things that I've asked. But what if you could add like a feature to Battleline this coming year? Like I said, I would add clans or a friends list. If you could add like any feature to this game, like what would you add? Do you think it would even have a chance of being legitimately added?
Another game mode, some kind of game mode, some kind of different game mode, like any kind of different game mode.
I agree.
2v2 would be sick as fuck, bro. Like if you have like two people and they're using their decks, like just make a bigger battlefield and like using two different
There you
decks.
go.
Like, yeah,
A lot of
something
people
that.
want
That'd
like a 1v1v1v1. I guess like Clash Royale has like a
2v2,
4-person mode or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I think people want that.
Yeah, anything like that would be cool. I also think like something similar to like Pokemon Go type battling where you could just have like 3 monsters and fight against another person's 3 monsters is like a turn-based kind of thing. I think there's so many little mini games they can do with the models they have, and it shows it with the star levels that they can pretty much create like a whole new genre of level ups inside of the game with the same characters, and I think it has a lot of potential.
Wow, how are you able to talk and enter the code so fast at the same time? Really?
Yeah.
Real TS
We're
Dragon.
fighting
That's
real
the real
TS
Dragon.
Wow.
The real one is here. Doing a solo G89 down the middle, of course.
That's not. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. That's not me. That's an imposter.
I like this story.
How many of you guys have imposters?
I have one.
Is there an imposter in the chat? Holy.
So speaking of Clash Royale, also has my #1 requested feature, and let me tell you guys this little story.
Real
about
TS
Clash
also
Royale.
just forfeit on stream.
I played
Bro, I'm
Clash
so salty
Royale.
about that.
played Clash Royale for like 3 days, and like I rage quit against a whale once, so I just like force closed the game, and I'm just like, oh, I'll just go play somebody else, and I reopened the app, and it just jumped me right back into the game against that whale.
That's super annoying.
That's the feature I want added to Godzilla Battleline most. When somebody leaves the game, it doesn't give us a 30-second disconnect. It auto switches over to a bot, and if that player decides to, find some cajones and come back, then it just puts them right back in the game.
We got the new person that entered this game is also the real TS.
TS Dragon's playing tonight.
Oh god, I'm heading out of here, bro. I gotta go to bed, so I'll catch y'all later.
Have fun going to bed.
See ya, man. TS, you're the next Spartacus.
Yeah, everyone is TS.
TS is Legion.
But I thought for actually this came to me the other day, a really cool addition to this game would be an after battle report where it shows you like who did the most damage maybe, or like who was the MVP of the match for your team, or like how much you retained.
That'd be cool.
And I think
I would like
that'd be
that
amazing.
feature.
Like
That
how much
actually
you
sounds like a pretty
heal
good
off
feature.
like
that'd be
yeah,
awesome.
and it really would show you like how much a unit is contributing, which would like help with us because we're all like we all love this game and like dissecting the meta and things like that. And if you can get like the
hyper-analyzing
statistics
it.
behind it, yeah, it'd be really fun. I mean,
and
I'd
it's
enjoy
not like
that
they
a ton.
don't have those statistics. That's how they do the buffs and the nerfs. So why can't we get access to it? Seems
Yeah, and
silly
it'd be
that we
nice to see
can't.
how much like Batra and Montrelio and like all those carries, like how much damage they're really doing for your team, and like in
Mhm.
comparison to other things.
Show
That
me
would also
how
help
he-
to see how much energy is produced between the other player and your player. That way, if you have a Japanese player, somebody that pops up, you can actually monitor it and send it to Toho.
There you
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
So you don't get energy like hacked.
Yeah,
There's been times that I've had energy base, and I still couldn't keep up with the guy that's at number 1 or number 2. It was impossible.
I feel like we've all reported. Is it the same guy like number 1 and
Yes.
number 2 that it's always in?
Yes, it's the same guy that 3 or 4 seasons ago
Yeah.
that me and Twilight Mexican on a Saturday messaged me and goes, dude, you were 25,000 ahead of him. Now you're only 3 in like 2 hours. And I'm like, what the hell? And I looked, sure enough, he did like almost 15,000 in a few hours. It was like, I don't even know how I could do it.
That's
There's
insane.
no way. There's no way.
Well, and that's why we knew, because that was the season he got 691 wins in a row. I'm like, how do you
Holy
get
shit.
91 wins in a row?
Yeah, there's no way.
Especially with like lag. Like we've all been like just lagged out of a match randomly. I was on like a 40 something streak. I think my highest is like 42 or something like that, like 49. So I think I hit like 40 and I was like about to cross it, and then I got a lag and I was like, oh, motherfucker, like
TS is
whoever this person is also I am also TS.
TS, how do you
Dude, these
keep
people are
getting
committed.
How do you keep getting in there, bro?
Dude, I don't even spend gems for that, and these guys will do it willy-nilly.
The who is TS saga is real. TS identity crisis, real time. And they're playing like all these like random ass decks and like forfeiting to me at the last second too.
Yeah, they're putting some good respect on my name at least. It's good to see.
Hey, that Jaguar with Camus, that's freaking. Hey,
Rookie
scary,
says
man.
he spent 50 crystals to change his name, and now it's a bunch of other people also doing it.
Hey, 50
Yeah.
crystals ain't nothing.
That's like a free 3-hour map, dude. You're missing out on like 2 Narangas. Like, come on, guys.
I see a message in chat from Nick saying that Melee is ignoring the text chat and only listening to the voice chat. I'm listening to like 7 people talk, and I'm trying not to lose. I'm sorry if I'm not also reading the chat, but I've been looking.
Yeah.
You've
Be a
had
better
chat has
YouTuber,
had some
man.
good
Come on.
questions.
I was going to say
Come
about
on, you gotta
the
have quadruple task.
about adding
Go
new
for it, Mike.
features. I would love to add like an all-star 1v1. Like use all of your units. Maybe in that mode add the no evolution thing that we spoke before, Melee.
Okay.
And go at it. Like double the double the health of the leaders, so it can be like a quick match, even with using all of your units. But you can only use your units once. It's basically all-star mode, but one player player against player. And the other thing,
Mike, you already left twice, so you don't get to talk anymore. I was making a joke. Obviously, it wasn't too funny.
I didn't understand you, man.
Because you kept on saying, "I'm gonna go, guys. Thanks. Okay, hey, great guy."
Yeah,
you know, he's sitting there going, "Hey, you know what? Sign up for Mike Pine. He's a great guy in Battle Lines." And we all thought you left 20 minutes ago, and then you're creeping around.
When did he say
Mike's
that?
double dipping.
You said earlier that you were getting off.
You go, "I'm heading out," and we all said
You said,
goodbye. to you.
yeah, you're like, "Oh, I'm heading out," and we were all like, "Bye, go subscribe."
Did I really?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't remember. Sorry. Well, if you want me to
even
go, I
chat
can go.
was like,
Now you
no,
know
no,
it wasn't
you,
so funny,
you
right?
obviously you could stay. Even chat was like, wasn't he supposed to leave, but he's still here.
Man, honestly, I didn't realize.
Chat
well,
Spence's
the other
Mike
thing,
having an identity crisis.
now I'm also Mike is going to appear. No, the thing, this would be like the last thing, and yeah, maybe I should go to bed because here in Chile is 1 a.m.
Jesus.
The last thing that I would add to the game, because I think that it would make it interesting, is like piece trade-off. Like if you have like a piece of a unit that you don't want to level up, maybe you can put it out on the internet, and maybe someone else can trade it.
I gotta
for
shoot that
some
down
unit.
immediately. I hope to God there's not trading added to this game.
Too
I think it'll disrupt the flow of just unlocking things. I think it's just gonna really mess everything up.
Give me all your girth pieces.
Exactly.
Give me all your girth pieces, please.
Especially if there's like a clan or something, and like we could just all give all of our like girth pieces to Pans, and then he has like a level 50 Earth. I think you could probably do trading in this game to some capacity with extreme limitations, but I think if they just add like unit piece trading, it's gonna get wild. It's like when you wonder trade in Pokemon Mudkip and you get back an Arceus. It's like broken.
Yeah, they might need to limit it to like 1 a week, but it could get pretty broken if they do an unlimited amount.
Someone just joins the only Mike Pime.
They do trading in a game like this could mess it completely up.
I think there's like a fine line for trading, and I don't think trading is the way to go. I think a gifting system is the way to go. Personally, I've played a few games with it. The Warhammer 40k Tacticus Arena or whatever has like a gifting system, and so did Disney Sorcerer's Arena. I think it still has one. And basically, what it was like, oh, you know, I have like 50 like radioactive barrels, and this was for Warhammer. It was like, I have 50 radioactive barrels. I'm not using these barrels on anyone currently in my roster. I can give you like someone, like if Mike, you wanted the barrels, you could ask every day in the alliance, hey, who wants to donate like 3 barrels to me? And then other people in your alliance who have the barrels could give them to you. I think in GBL's system, be like, hey, I want to level up my Kamacuras. Does anyone have spare Kamacuras pieces? And like you can set like donate, and then people could give you like 10 Kamacuras, like up to 10 Kamacuras pieces a day. Between everyone in the alliance, the max that you could receive would be like 10. But maybe you couldn't do that with the 4 stars because there's supposed to be like a limited variety. But like for the bronze units, I don't see why I couldn't just give you like 10 Manila pieces if I'm not using Manilas.
That could be a thing.
That's at least how I would like it.
That would definitely help some newbies. Like, yeah, maybe limit the amount, but I think it would be a great help for new players, especially because I think we can all agree that this game is horrible with new players.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't been a new player in like years.
This game has been out for 1.5 years.
That's about years.
Yeah. And I started like after 2 months of people playing, and it was definitely a grind for the first couple weeks. So I can't even imagine like a year in.
Nee
Dude,
just donated
But I also
from
think-
the bed, and he said G98 is as bad as Broly from Dragon Ball Z, but I have to give some support to the homies, and he threw us $10. So shout out Nee. We love the
Hell
support, even
yeah.
though you said you were going to bed after you gave up on us, so go to bed.
I have to put up with a lot in this job, guys.
As far as
sorry
actually
to
one
cut you
more
off.
thing I'd want to see added is when a unit drops and it shows the name like it does every time, like why can't they just add the level next to it as well? So if someone had like a level 33 like King Caesar, it would say King Caesar level 33. And I feel like that would help a lot of people in seeing what their units can do against other units at a certain level, and it'd just be a lot less frustrating too, because I'm sure some people get stomped and they have no idea what the other player had, and they're just sitting there like.
There's also a lot of
I don't
players
even know.
who are like complain like on Reddit or Facebook or whatever in my comments complain that they just got whooped by a whale, but they don't like tell who the whale is. It's just a whale, and it could be anyone that has higher level units than them. So I think being able to see the difference of the levels would be like a huge benefit as well. I agree.
That'd be huge. Yeah, we should like petition that.
They're not gonna change it.
Not to say this for like a 40th time, but like that's also a Clash Royale thing. You can just
Yeah.
see the levels of the units.
Well, this whole thing
Not a
is
big deal.
This is just Clash Royale, but with better characters.
absolutely.
If they did do a clans or a donate, to be able to donate. I mean, like I know when one of my boys is playing that stupid Roblox, you can hit the person's name and you can sit there and say donate. And I think that's what they should be able to do, because I'm sure everybody would be my friend.
Yeah, everyone's petitioning Admin 1 for some gold. Spare change. Spare
Yeah.
change.
From tyrant to king.
But I will say that it is also late here. So before we sign off here, I want to ask everybody, what has been your favorite part of Battleline over the last year? Before we all get off, what was your
The
favorite
gameplay.
thing about Battleline?
The gameplay, man. The gameplay is so great. For PvP, for PvP battles, for fighting 1v1, it is just so good. It's such a good game for that. It's still that. It's always going to be that.
That's a pretty good answer. When what are you hopeful for this year of Battleline? What do you hope this year brings to the game? Units, features, whatever.
For me, I
Buffs,
think
nerfs?
the best thing that I have got is the camaraderie that we've all shared, the friendships I've struck up with a lot of you guys. I think that's probably been better than the freaking game, and I would
That's
like.
a wholesome ass answer right there.
I mean, that to me is probably better. Like I said, better in the game. And then what I would like to see is the ability to either message the person, because there's a few people that I would love to have hang out in the Discord. I'd like to find out who the hell Smasher is.
Oh, you would get so much hate mail.
Chat is agreeing with you, Admin 1, that the community is better than the game. But yes.
So, but
Yeah,
you know,
I think we're all
for
just huge
like
Godzilla
months-
fans, so.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we're all Godzilla fans. I think that we're all here for the same reason. And for the next season, I would like Toho to actually do what they say they're going to do, not drag shit out. If they're going to bring out the monster, bring the fucking monster. Don't make us wait a whole year for Monster Zero. And they're punishing every
Yeah.
that because of your giant fucking octopus.
Shut up.
But no, I mean, seriously, I think that they would, if Toho would actually do what they say they're going to do as far as give us a timeline of, hey, you know what, here's what the next year, like
A
these stupid
roadmap.
summits. Yeah, but the stupid summits that they've been doing lately, I'd rather go jerk off because they're stupid. They're sitting there laughing and shit, and they're like talking about some freaking merchandise that looks like, you know, came from China and shit. And you're like, what the fuck is this? What is this? And they're like, oh, stay tuned for an update like the last summit. We're all sitting there waiting for, you know, what's going to go on. And all they do is throw a picture up. Come on. You know, we're the community. We're the one that supports them. We're the one that gets the names up. They should at least give us the ability to know what's going to come so we can plan for it. That's all.
Even Marvel Snap, and we've talked about Marvel Snap a lot tonight. Even Marvel Snap, as before the game was even out of beta, they put up a roadmap for the end of 2022 and into 2023. And as of right now, they've completed a bunch of stuff that was already on that roadmap. and they posted a second one, an updated version of it as well. So I think Toho can maybe learn something from that. They did one in March when Earth came out, and it was from March to July, where it just showed us very briefly like what was going on, but then they didn't do one for the second half of the year. I would very much appreciate them do one for the entire year. Show us what's coming and when. You don't have to tell me what new feature is coming or when it's coming. If you're not going to tell me what the new features are, tell me when to expect the new feature. If you do tell me when the new features are coming, or I'm sorry, if you tell me what the new feature is, I don't need to know when it's coming. I just need a rough estimate of when they think it'll be out. If they don't tell us what the feature is, I wish they would just tell us straight up when it should be out. You know? What Snap does is they just say like, oh, here's our new game mode, but no date. It's just like, this is what we have planned for this time, like quarter 3 or whatever of the year.
It'd be better if Toho did that.
I agree.
I agree with that. I mean, it would just be nice to know what they have in store for the game. That way, you know, I think that I would love to have Toho instead of these stupid inquiries where you could go down and check it. They should be able, the developers, ask the people who play the freaking game, because obviously when they get on these summits, none of them can play worth the shit. They should be able to ask us, hey, guess what? What do you guys find enjoyable about the game? These stupid surveys where you get 250 gems, big deal. Why don't you, pick our brains, figure out what makes what.
I think I email them before every summit saying, let me host the next one. And they never do. They never get back to me on that. I always get the Toho inquiry like, oh, thanks for submitting your inquiry. We might not get back to you. And I'm like, yeah, I get it.
You definitely have less connection issues.
That's true. That's true.
They
Mike,
always have
that's
one.
true.
They
Holy
always
crap.
have at least one. No,
Mike's
I
having
was going
connection
to-
issues
Mike
himself
said it was
too.
late.
It's a curse.
He's like,
You know-
oh my God, like herpes, Mike.
You know what? I was going to say, Toho is not at least for the game, it's not a company that is worth like hoping things for, because every time they do something like, oh, this gives me hope for the future, they always ruin it. For instance, when they added Ultraman and Neronga, I was so happy because both of the units seemed great at the time. But then they went and added the Giant Octopus, which was bad, and also Destroya that season was also bad. Like, it was almost impossible to evolve. But they did one good thing with the Octopus, I must say. Like, I have to give them credit for that. The distribution. I don't know if you guys remember when the
that was
Octopus
really
was
good.
released, they gave an offer when they give you enough pieces for you to level it up until 10, I think.
Yeah,
And
in
that
the
is-
challenges they gave us enough pieces to get it to like level 6 or 7 or 8 or something like that, and then in the bundle it was enough to get it up to 16. If you had gotten the bundle, which was free, I think you just had to pay gems or something for it, or gold or something for it. You paid for that bundle of octopus and it gave you a ton, and then between all the missions they added, you could get octopus from 1 to 16 for free.
I think it was 25,000 gold or some shit like that.
Yeah,
And then-
or less or something. It was crazy. It was like a ridiculous value.
And then you can
Yeah,
have
I
like a
just remember it
level
wasn't
50
money.
octopus, and that's gonna do you what?
Now, on the same vein, I wish they would bring back the Jet Jaguar challenges from last year, from 2021, when Jet Jaguar Singular Point was added. For those of you who weren't around for that, they dropped Jet Jaguar Singular Point as the second unit of the... what month was it? July was Terrestrius, August was Kong, and... No, June was Terrestrius, July was Kong, and then Jet Jaguar Singular Point the halfway through the month. Jet Jaguar Singular Point, what they did was they had challenges that each challenge was giving you pieces for him. You could get for free Jet Jaguar up to level 5 during those 2 weeks that he was around. And that was a really good unit at the time. It was like the third unit added to the game. But I wish they would bring back something like that. Like, I would love some difficult challenges for Mecha Godzilla. Like, if once you unlock him, you can get all these things. But then again, Jet Jaguar was not the featured unit in the battle pass. It was Kong. So maybe if they bring something back like that, like how we do like Fourth Angel was added. Maybe Fourth Angel could have something like Giant Octopus. If they made it easier to unlock some units, I think would be really good.
That was an insane event that I don't think they'll ever do again, because
Mhm.
you got to think, you pull one for 4 more, which is insane. Because
Crazy.
I actually pulled that Jet Jaguar from a random rare pack on my first season, and it catapulted me to being so much stronger because he was so much better back then.
Yep. I did the same thing. I
But-
pulled him from one of the boxes before I knew the true value, and I threw him in my team immediately. Him and Ultima just tore through the ranks back then.
Yeah, they were insane back then. Especially Ultima too for like those next
Mhm.
coming seasons. But I think they could do a mini version of just giving us one. I think they only did that with Kiryu, I think, because that was the poll winner. But I don't even know if they did it with Shin Godzilla, or Destroya. So
They didn't. I don't think they gave us any Destroyer pieces. I don't remember.
yeah, I don't think they did either. But I think they did
I think
give
they
us
gave us a
Kiryu,
Shin one.
If
I think
do
they gave us one
remember.
for Shin, and I think they gave us one for Kiryu too. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just dreading the day they add the next 2-star monster because that thing's gonna take months to level up. They better
It's
do an
never
event
gonna
for that
happen.
guy.
It's never. We're never getting a 2-star
Yeah.
monster out of this game.
I hope so because it would be such a grind to level that thing up.
But I'm calling it here, you guys. I think this is gonna be in this stream. This new stream that we've done, combined with the one that crashed, has now been about 3 hours of content. So I have a lot to clip together. But I appreciate everyone that stopped by tonight, and everyone that's here right now, and everyone in the chat, especially chat. I seen you guys. I neglected you guys tonight, but don't worry. The next one, I will be more gentle and kind. But thank you, everyone.
Thanks for
Admin
hosting.
One, Dark Crow, King Ghidorah, Mike Pine, Pants, TS Dragon, Nee was here, Alex 1.0 was here. Am I missing anyone? Crayon was here. I got
Zach.
Crayon was here.
Stagathy.
Stagathy also was here at the very beginning of the stream as well. So, shout out to everybody who joined here. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.